it loudly and proudly, Tasmania!
Hello Saws and Mowers is a family-run business. It was started well over 30 years ago. It was originally a saw shop. It was evolved into a mower shop. We have the expertise of the staff with my background in turf.
We are the statewide distributors of Toro. It is the world-leading turf company. So if you love to spend time in your backyard and you love to make your lawn looking like a bowling green, come and see us.
Hi, I'm Ray Chamberlain, and here are the top reasons why you should become an AFL umpire. You love intellectual conversations.
I know you're not. No, I said.
And you said no. Everybody knows you need help with your anger management issues.
We don't talk to one another like that. It's okay.
You just can't keep up with the young ones any longer.
It's run down.
Because you like to get paid to keep fit.
Blow your whistle, show your decision, show your good strong signals, then get on your bike and go.
It's the best game in the world.
A very good afternoon and welcome to North Hobart Oval for the 2023 Cripps Tasmanian State League Grand Final live from North Hobart Oval. My name is Tubes Taylor and it's the best day in the Tasmanian State League calendar right here. We've got the Kingborough Tigers taking on the North Launceston Bombers at North Hobart, and the two best sides, Andrew Cooling, are meeting here at the spiritual home of footy in Tasmania. What are you expecting?
Grand final day back at North Hobart Oval, and it just feels so right, Tubes. I'm expecting a cracking encounter. These two sides have been very evenly matched all season long. They've had some great battles. There have been games swung by a kick one way or another. For the most part, they've been really evenly matched. I'm expecting a really tight encounter. Some star players across every lines for both sides here. Perfect conditions for footy. This should be a treat.
Who are you expecting to watch from Kingborough? Let's start with the Tigers as they got here first. Yeah, they earned their right of a Southern Grand Final.
Yeah, plenty of star players in that team. If you look, starting with the defence, Ben Donnelly, best fullback in the competition this year. He's been an absolute lockdown there. Elijah Reardon coming off half-back. He's pushed up into midfield at times this year. He's a real creator for them. He's someone who can break lines. He can kick the ball 60 metres. He's a real a territory winner for them back there. The midfield brigade's been outstanding all year. Lockie Clifford, Eddie Cole, James Webb have been brilliant. Throw in a guy who, when he's fit, is possibly the best midfielder in the competition in Kieran Lovell. We're battling some injuries, but that's where the strength of this Tigers outfit has been, with Tompkinson feeding him. That's where they've perhaps had the slight edge over the Bombers this year, and getting that service into a pretty dangerous forward line where you've got the likes of Zeitzen and Carter. Tompkinson can push down there. It's a dangerous team, the Tigers. They've got playmakers everywhere.
They certainly do, Andrew Cooling. Let's move on to the team that's spent time in this game. 9 out of the last 10 grand finals. The North Launceston Bombers are an incredible football club. Who are we expecting to watch closely from the Bombers?
They are. The way they've regenerated, this in many respects has come before many expected it. Dropped out of the finals for 1 year, straight back up to contention again. And a really young core has driven this team. They've got a nice spattering of veterans, but in defence this year, I've been really impressed by Fletcher Bennett. Every time I've seen him, he's been outstanding. Oscar Van Dam, a Devils player, he comes into the defence. He hasn't been playing for them this year too often. He comes into the side. That bolsters the defence. Heath Ollington, the other Devil, coming into the team. Ben Simpson has led from the front and midfield all year. He's been one of the best mids in the competition. He's a great talent. Bradley Cox, good year up forward. He won the Hudson Medal this year, 58 goals, I think, an outstanding campaign. And they've got goal kickers everywhere down there. Harvey Griffiths kicked 30. Brandon Leary might be the biggest live wire in the competition. There's some serious threat there, and I think a lot will rest on the shoulders of their big ruckman, Alex Lee, today. We've already seen this ground is conducive to a lot of stoppages.
Let's cross down to Bo Downham. What's the feeling like, Bo? Your boundary side, how are things shaping up for this TSL Grand Final?
Yeah, there's a genuine buzz down here this afternoon, Tubes. It's a cracking day for footy. A little bit of breeze to talk about, but not that much. You can just see a few warm-ups going through, but it's a genuine buzz down here at the Kingborough and the North Lonnie benches.
Yes, as the microphone now will be handed over to Master of Ceremonies, Brent Costello, as the presentation of the Premiership Cup will happen. And we will head to the national anthem in just a few moments. North Launceston getting together. I'll tell you what, Kingborough have sent themselves very much forward away from the Premiership Cup. Don't want to get too close. And Brent Costello.
Tasmanian State League Grand Final between Kingborough and North Launceston. We acknowledge the Muwanina, the traditional and original owners of the land upon which today's game will be played. We recognise their continuing connection to land, water and culture, and pay our respects to their elders, past and present. We acknowledge the enormous contribution made to our game by First Nations players, coaches and officials and those playing in today's games. Please welcome 2023 TSL Premiership Cup ambassadors for Kingborough, Monica Reardon, and for North Launceston, Zane Littlejohn. Now, if you're able, please rise and join with the players, coaches and umpires for the Australian National Anthem.
Well, there you go. A rousing rendition of the grand final. Gee, it's a hefty Premiership Cup, Andrew Cooling.
Plenty of heft to a Tubes, Taylor, and both sets of players are going to be eager to be hoisting that one as Anthony Osborne just picks it off. And we're just about ready to go here.
I reckon the old red frog sticky mitts of Anthony Osborne there might put a few fingerprints on that, so they'll give it a fair polish up. We must acknowledge the umpires today. The field umpires today are Tom McEntee, Nathan Geeson and Brad Percy. And the emergency is Mark Tuckett. On the boundary for their first senior TSL Grand Final is Brendan Cook, Brendan Green, Riley Lee Heath and Curtis Reed. In goal is Bryce Guy and Will Robinson. And the emergency there is Kyton Aitken. Very big congratulations to the men and women in green who do a sensational job. And Alex Lee, the captain of North Launceston, meets with Lockie Clifford, the captain of Kingborough. And it looks like Brent Costello's going to toss the coin. Goodness me. What a privilege that is for the great man. Lockie Clifford wins the toss and will kick to the mountain end or the Horry-Gorringe stand. We know these grand finals, Andrew Cooling, are enormous days. What are you expecting in the first few moments of this match?
I'm not expecting anything too different to what we saw in the qualifying final. That was a pretty low-scoring first half. It was a pretty tight battle for much of the day, albeit a much windier day than this, where one end it was just impossible to score from. That won't be an issue today, but I'm expecting lots of stoppages. It's going to be a tight contest, not much between them. For most of that afternoon it was, but then for 20 minutes in the third quarter, the Kingborough Tigers caught fire and they were electric. Kicked 8 goals, blew the game wide open. The Bombers will be desperate to avoid a lapse like that.
Absolutely, and I think the thing that the Bombers have got going for them, Andrew Cooling, is that they've been here in the last 10 years 9 times. They only missed last year. The boys on our left and on our screen, they've been here last year and got smacked by Launceston. However, maybe it's second time lucky. The 2 best sides of the competition meet today for the grand final, thanks to Cripps, as the crowd is still streaming in here. Just a recap of the earlier game. North Hobart defeated North Launceston by 10 points in the Development League grand final, with Hugh Williams being named best on field. One for the books, that one. As the players move their way into position. You can see Oscar Mansell on screen. The flowing locks of Harvey Griffiths in the blue boots. Look at his thighs. They're an enormous set. Goodness me, look at him.
He's had a fine year, Harvey Griffiths, kicked 30 goals, and interesting to see where Brad Cox-Goodyear starts today, the Hudson medalist. He has gone deep forward. I thought it might have been a bit of mind games. He was named on the ball. I thought absolutely no chance he will start at full forward.
James Webb here on the near wing. There is Bradley Cox-Goodyear lining up on Lockie Godomski. So that is a matchup. I spoke to a Kingborough Tigers fan earlier and said that Lockie Godomski, whenever he plays on Brad Cox-Goodyear, keeps him to 2 goals or less every time. Let's get this game underway. Andrew Cooling, Tubes Taylor is my name. Take it away, Cools.
The umpire holds the ball aloft and we're ready to go in the 2023 TSL Grand Final. Lee and Tompkinson to meet in the middle. Bounce favours Tompkinson, spiked it to Campbell. He had a whack at it, knocked it forward. Running over the top of a Pierce, Avent in there as well. Trying to burrow through Sulzberg, gets his head taken off. That'll be a free kick. It'll go the way of the Bombers. In fact, it was Nicholas just burrowing into big Tompkinson there. And he threads it wide. Bit of a dicey kick, almost leaned Clifford in, but a strong pair of hands from Heath Ollington. Tassie Devils player makes his return today. Handball to Bennett. Bennett sweeping it over the top for Pierce. Pierce now will send them deep inside 50, looking for Griffiths, but a bit too much on it. And it's out on the full.
Umpire did well there to maintain a little control. The kick will be taken by McCulloch from the back pocket. Long defensive left foot kick, and it should be taken here by Tompkinson. It is. Lee arrived over the top. Tompkinson controls himself, gives it off to Lovell. Lovell through the middle of North Hobart Oval. Sends the ball down towards Zeitzen and Campbell and co. Lovely pick up and gather was good from Bales. And we'll see a ball up at half forward. Zeitzen having a little toe-to-toe there with Avent. Ball up. Tompkinson and Lee. Lee wins it down. Clifford just dropped it like a hot potato. Umpire said no, he was caught high. So it'll be a free kick to the captain for the Tigers. Short one's on to Lovell, not going that direction. Zeitzen with a late lead. He decides against that. Now a long kick deep inside forward 50. At the back, chance now for College, and it rolls out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
So the Tigers probing early on here in the grand final, looking for the first goal. They won hosting rights for the win, the Twin Ovals, a couple of weeks ago. Goals very hard to come by in the first half. They're back into play. Carter doing the ruck work against Lee. Eddie Cole flings himself. He might have been held. Eddie Cole will have an opportunity to draw first blood. Held without it. And a very gettable shot for a player of his class.
A little bit of mayonnaise on that for Eddie Cole, but it was there. He was definitely held off the ball. So he'll go back and have a shot directly in front, 20 metres out.
Yeah, he certainly made sure it was seen, but yeah, definitely just grabbed a little early here. And Eddie Cole, familiar sight seeing him first to the fore of the ball. Can he get the Tigers off and running in the 2023 Grand Final. He'll shoot from 20 out directly in front. He makes no mistake. And the Tigers are on the board here. And the crowd enjoy his work.
Great work from Eddie Cole. Worked to the front of the pack, read the ball beautifully. Smart enough to throw the hands up. Won himself an award for acting. And didn't he love it too? There's a bit off the ball here. Tyler Carter's involved. Zeitzen as well. Tompkinson got 2 to beat. Avent's involved too. Just wants to be let go, does the big bull. Lockie Mitchell doing a bit of work down there.
Ooh, Lovell might have just got a free kick. Alex Lee's put Lovell to the deck and the umpire's blown a free kick.
Wow. I think it might be going to James Webb, in fact. So Webb has the kick. He's got a long lead from college. He decides against that and sends a left foot kick right down towards his his forwards. Clifford got a rushed one. Zeitzen tackled without the footy, dumped by Pearce. Pearce gave it off to the stack out of Young. Young goes out wide. Chasing after the footy is Brereton. Numbers here with Pearce and the Bombers. Big tackle laid, holding the footy. Great tackle by Godomski. And they'll go inside forward 50 once more, the Tigers.
Red hot early on here. Lockie Godomski will send them forward. Lovell presenting short. That's ignored. He'll set it up for the big men instead. Crashing the pack was College. Fell to Carter. Tried to get underneath Ollington. Play on the call. He fell it to Avent. Avent worked it to Pearce. He's crunched by Tompkinson, holding the footy cold. And Tompkinson will go back and have a shot. Oh, it's hot in the kitchen early on here, Churchstone.
Oh, I tell you what, he held on to that for about 4 seconds and he was dumped. And the umpire said, prior opportunity.
Be damned.
Here's a look at the replay. Oh, yes,
Yeah,
he did have the
good
prior
call.
opportunity. Well umpired. That's why I'm sitting in the commentary box and not with the green on.
Oh, great call from the umpire. He had the option to handball. Needed to fire it off. Tompkinson sent him to the deck, and he's a thumping kick, Jack Tompkinson. This is very much within range. He'll kick from just outside 50. Sends it on its way. It's drifting across the face. Off hands of Young for a minor score. But a bright start here from the Tigers.
Well, the Bombers come out looking to fight early. Young will bring it in. Long kick. That one will be out of bounds on the full. Mark paid. Gee, from where I was, it was out. Hubbard took the mark. Plays on. Sends it down towards Leary and co. Leary went flying high and took the mark. That is sensational from the Jet. Gee, it was a real worm burner down towards Bradley Cox Goodyear. He handballs off. Running through with Salzberger. Heading towards goal. He snuck it in. Salzberger gets the first for the Bombers. And that's coast-to-coast stuff from the boys from the north.
Yeah, a couple of their key movers involved there. Wasn't the best kick from Leary. The mark was spectacular, and his kick found its way to Cox Goodyear, who, as ever, so clean by hand. Got it to Sulzberger, who's able to straighten up onto the left, and he nails their first chance of the afternoon. Slick ball movement there from the Bombers.
Didn't he love it too, the burger?
Yeah, he's just let Blake McCulloch know all about that one. Have some of that, he says. So, a good response to the Bombers after a bright start from the Tigers. It's a 1-point lead, 6.5 gone in the opening term. Tompkinson and Lee to resume their duel in the middle. Webb and Avent matched up. Cole and Pearce. Lee won that one down. Avent takes it, but he's immediately claimed by Cole, who brings him down, and they'll go again. Elijah Reardon pushing up around the ball as well. We've seen him move into the midfield a little bit more as the season has developed. Tompkinson got the better of Lee, won it down, but again going absolutely nowhere. So lock up in the middle. Pearce with a firm tackle. Familiar sight seeing him crash in. He's a hard nut, Pearce. This time Tompkinson reaches over the top. Sulzberger able to take it. Umpire says advantage play on, and Sulzberger takes the advantage. He drives them inside the 50, looking for Griffiths. Spoiled away from him. Charging through Cox Goodyear, might have got one a little high, play on, and taken across by Brereton.
Godomski down behind play, just copped a little one untoward. He's up now, seems to be okay. Ball in, inside forward 50 for the Bombers. Lee and Tompkinson will do battle. Tompkinson worked under the ball by Lee. Salzberger collected a man below the legs, but it's called a push in the back. So it'll be Salzberger to take the kick from outside 50. I reckon he's got the journey on the run here. Might be tested from a standing start. A long lead from Leary is ignored. So he wheels around and says, come at me, bro. That's a great kick, and that's unfortunately out on the full. Just a little too far. So great kicking out on the full don't generally go together, Andrew Cooling.
I think that Wynn just took it at the last second, to be kind to you there, Tubes. The idea was right, the execution ever so slightly off as this one's worked down the line towards the pack. Gardner worked underneath it. He'll get the free kick now against the young defender Oscar Van Dam into this team. Handball off to Kieran Lovell, balked around one, then chips it wide for Zeitzen, who just takes the mark inside the field of play. He's had a fantastic season. James Zeitzen been a real breakout player for the Tigers. He'll send them inside the forward 50 here, floats over the head of College, and again the wind just sucking the ball near side here early going. So chip it round the back. Stretching was Bennett. He's able to work it out wide. Bit of an uncomfortable one though for Ives. Well, Leaflang rather made a mess of it. Simpson's able there to recover it though, and he charges off out of defence. Blasts it long to the contest. Griffiths plays spoiler and out off the hands of Ahern.
I cannot get over the size and magnificence of Harvey Griffiths' thighs. They are sensational. It's a boundary throw in here at half forward for the Tigers. Lee and Tompkinson to do battle again. Ball in is good. Tompkinson worked underneath it again. Kick off the ground by Clifford. Coming to meet it was Chugg. Left it behind though. Clifford again arrives. Big tackle late. Umpire now circles and says, give it to me. 10 minutes gone in the first term. It's a 1-point margin in favour of the Tigers. Lee wins it down. Lovell, smart. Got his kick forward down towards Carter, who's worked away. Had 2 to beat, and it's a ball in.
Good work there from Fletcher Bennett coming off his man to lend some support to Connor Young. He's had a fantastic season down there. Developing star of the future as forward 50 stoppage here. Tyler Carter will do the ruck work for the Tigers against Lee. Spike towards the goals and will trickle out a play for another ball in. Bradley Cox-Goodyear pushing up onto the ball now. Moving up, looking to impose himself on the contest. A star he's been for so many years, plenty of grand final experience for BCG. He's a big game player. Back into play. Carter out of the ruck, couldn't take it cleanly. Lee pressuring. I think it's going to lead to another stoppage. Trying to take it away was Chugg, where he was dived on by Webb. And then got in his back, so Chugg will take the free kick. Another player who's really had a breakout campaign, Declan Chugg.
Chugg from the back pocket. Looks out wide, long lead. Came from Hubbard. Oh, that's a strong mark to Bastic in the opposition's colours, who look to go inside forward 50 again. Gardner with the lead, ends up getting on the end of it. No, too much on it. Van Dam sending it back to where it came. Tompkinson underneath it. Lee came from behind in the opposite direction. Pace shown here. Godomski sends the ball inside forward 50. Carter at the back. Chance now wheeling around. Is it a goal? It's going to be College. No. Another behind for the Kingborough Tigers. They look dangerous going inside forward 50.
Doing a good job getting it in there too, setting up nicely behind the ball. The Bombers having a bit of trouble playing through this press at the moment as Young just goes for distance this time and absolutely launches it, and that's a smart mark taken there by Heath Ollington. The young devil wheels off onto his right and drives them down the line, sets it out in front of Ben Simpson to chase. Stride for stride with Brereton, but Simpson was clean. Handball inside to Leary. Can he gather it? He's still going, Leary. Eventually under his spell, but he's brought down holding the footy by a throw called, take your pick. Ben Donnelly, fullback and team of the year, with some great defending there. His kick looking for Reardon. Van Dam was there to chop it off. Reardon gathers, spins through traffic, cool as ever, and now spots up Tompkinson. Kick not a great one. Tompkinson takes it. Alex Lee brings him down. Did he slip high? If not, it's got to be holding the ball, and he's pinged. Alex Lee with the free kick.
Some communication error there between Zeitzen and Tompkinson as Lee handballs off to the running Young. Young sends the ball to half forward. Griffiths, good, uses the thighs, can't gather the ball though. Bastick, tough, goes back towards a teammate in Lee, I think it was, rather, Webb or McCulloch, and they dive on it. And the umpire says, hold in the footy. You've dragged it in there. Mr. Pearce, free kick to Murray Bastick.
They've been red hot on holding the ball early in this one. Got a stark contrast to the curtain raiser. As Murray Bastick just launches it. It's a poor kick. He's put it into the stands. Bastick.
Someone will have to go and get that from Lewis Street.
Right off the side of the boot. So the Bombers can advance it here through Chug. He loves to maraud forwards. He'll chip this one back to Mitchell. Mitchell ignores a short lead from Sulzberger, instead goes back to Leaflang. Some pressure coming from Tompkinson. Oh, caught him. Gardner now with it. Flick the handball back over the top to O'Neill. He couldn't take it cleanly. Mitchell dives on top of it. O'Neill on top of him, trying to get rid of it. Here's O'Neill barging through, but he's brought down and it'll be a ball up.
How about the chase from Tompkinson?
That was sensational. That from the big fellas.
Yeah. They're the ones that get you going on grand final day. Gardner and Lee battled for a lot of years, those two. Pearce came out the back. Cox Goodyear gets his kick smothered. O'Neill gathers and wrapped up in a tackle. We'll see a ball up. How about the tackle from Tompkinson? Just couldn't gather the ball there, O'Neill. A ball up. Lee wins it down, kicked out of the air by Clifford, and it's out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Bradley Cox Goodyear.
Just volleying that one into the crowd. Cox Goodyear assesses his options. Avent on a bursting lead. That's ignored. Goes sideways instead and finds Fletcher Bennett. Bennett has Leaflang on for the switch, but instead goes through the corridor. Leaflang's still on for Avent, so that's where he heads. Leaflang has now got the next link in the chain. They'll send that one wide. It's a good ball for Lockie Mitchell. Mitchell driving it into the pocket, looking for a Hearn, but doing well to get back in the path there was Bastick, and he spoils it out of play. Good ball movement there from the Bombers.
They look good when they get some movement like that, some space.
It's all their defenders pushing up out of defence to provide that overlap. The key defenders getting involved.
Looks like Declan Chugg's a spare man behind the ball here.
Toss back in, Gardner whacks it down. Cole through traffic, Pearce on there. Then Shandon Leary gets his kick goalward, drifting towards Donnelly back there. Griffiths tries to put him off, and so initially McCulloch rushes it through. Took it quickly, too quickly. He'll have to go again.
A rush behind to the score. North Launceston brings it back to a point. The Tigers 1-2-8 lead the Bombers 1-1-7. 16 minutes gone in the first term of the Crips TSL Grand Final. Long kick, Bastick took the mark at half back. Wheels around, he's got a man all by himself, and O'Neill. O'Neill looks up, he's got a long lead from Carter. Carter straight down his throat, nice defensive work. O'Neill kept coming. Now the Tigers trying to keep it in. They're outnumbered. There's Bombers everywhere. O'Neill again dives on the footy. And we'll see a ball up. No, it's too high. George O'Neill to take the free kick at half forward. Looking up, he's got not a lot to kick to. A lot of Bombers have got back. Zeitzen gets called to play on now, O'Neill, so he just pops it up. It's a 3-on-1. The one is Jack Tompkinson. Through came Lovell. Now the handball's out, and it'll be a clearing kick from Bennett.
Bennett up towards the contest. Offhand, spills out the back to Donnelly. Donnelly turned it straight over to Sulzberger. He launches it long, a one-on-one here. Harvey Griffiths up against Gadomski. Gadomski did well. Now McCulloch able to shift it wide where they've got some numbers. This is building nicely for the Tigers. They'll go looking for Tompkinson in the pocket. Spilled out the back, and it'll be a ball in. There's a real pace and tempo about this game early on.
Gee, they've had people everywhere on that far wing, the Tigers, but when they kicked it deep inside their forward 50, it was a flight of Bombers.
Plenty of numbers back there getting back to guard the dangerous Tompkinson, trying to put the double team on him. As he'll now do the ruck work opposed to Lee. One it down, Pearce might have been taken without it. He'll get the free kick, and that should relieve the pressure.
So Pearce, from the back pocket, finds Mitchell. Ollington rather. Now the kick comes further afield. Nice work by Will Clifford, but he couldn't force it out of the boundary. Quick rush kick from Manshandon. Oh dear, out the back. Now's a chance for Griffiths as he runs into an open goal. Has a bounce, and he'll run in and drill it. You're not catching a man with thighs like that. The Bombers hit the front.
Yeah, just caught there, Godomski. That's the risky run when you take front position and you get an awkward bounce like that. Griffiths just, once it was out behind, he was never going to be caught. He saunters in on goal and slams through his first of the afternoon to put his side ahead. Just good counter-attacking football there from the Bombers.
Yep, Harvey Griffiths gets his first of the day.
Tigers have done attacking there. They held out at the back nicely, springboarded back the other way. It's an early 5-point lead to the Bombers midway through the opening term. Gardner will ruck against Lee. Gardner won it down. He'll get the clearance. Do know he was worked off it by Avents. Pearce goes back in and he wins it. He flicks it to the outside. Baker applying a tackle but crashing through. It was Nicholas. Firm tackle there, but he's pinged for high. It just slipped up. That'll be a free kick going the way of Simpson. Eddie Cole not thrilled with that. Dives to try and spoil it as they launch it forward. Leary dangerous. Couldn't quite get it. Fell to Griffiths. Griffiths working it back to the goal square. Oh, dropped it into the path of Manshandon. Coming through the other way is Mansell. Mansell tries to shrug the tackle. Brilliantly done, Godomski. Brought him down, and then Brewers has scored it out of play.
Gee, that was hot pressure from the forwards of the Bombers. Held up really well, though, the Tigers. Boundary throw-in. It's a 5-point margin to the visitors' Bombers. 2-1-13 lead the Tigers, 1-2-8. Gardner wins it down, looking for Campbell. Campbell's kick towards O'Neill. Nice fly from the back from Bales. Big tackle again, and we'll see a ball up. Nice crowd building here at North Hobart Oval. 20 minutes gone in the first term of the Tasmanian State League Grand Final. Gardner again wins it down. Cox Goodyear caught one high. Umpire let it go. And the umpire will take it again for another ball up. More time eaten up in this game by stoppage. Low-scoring affair. Ives taps it over the back. Quick kick forward by Chugg. Flying at the back. Reardon got a quick rush kick to O'Neill. O'Neill goes back to Clifford. Clifford with a clever one looking for Zeitzen. Lovell. And he's copped one across the shoulders. It'll be a free kick to Zeitzen.
Yeah, just had his arms chopped there, Zeitzen, and he takes the free kick and he sends it deep in the Tompkinson direction. College backing back, takes a great mark. Max College, he's been a revelation this year, this man.
That's a great mark. I don't care where or who you are. If you take a mark like that, you've taken a ripper.
And he immediately indicates he's keen to go back as we have a look there. Super stuff there, getting the better of Chugg.
Not a lot that Chugg could have done there either.
Not at all. As I said, he's been a revelation. It's been quite the breakout season for Max College. Tough kick this one, but we know he's capable. He sends it across the face, won't have the journey into the goal square it lands. Spike back into the Williams direction. He handballs to Soupy Campbell. Campbell's snap is off target and drifting out of bounds. He is dangerous in that situation, William Campbell, but didn't quite produce his best work there. Cox Goodyear, interesting, spending a bit of time behind the ball early on here.
Strange space for him, isn't it? Moving the ball on the Bombers. Find a target in Nicholas. He gets called to play on. Long kick. Punched away by Donnelly. Wheeling the ball out was Mansell. Kept going, did Avent. Campbell, Avent, pushed in the back. Umpire said play on, scooped it up now to Griffiths. Griffiths' kick goes down to the forward line. Chance here for Leary. He's whipped off the ball. Burrowing in are a number of players, and we'll see a ball up. Coming up with the ball is Pearce. 22 and 3 minutes gone. 22 and 3/4 minutes gone in the first half. Here comes Salzburger towards goal. No.
Well, that's the second there for the Bombers midfielder as they play on quickly from fullback from Donnelly. Good kick, found Brereton with a strong pair of hands. Ambrose Brereton punches a low one to Zeitz. It wasn't a great ball for him. Had some time to recover it, then just rather slaps it on the boot. Tompkinson a one-on-one. He'll get the whole free kick. He had Van Dam draped all over him. No, it's going the other way.
Two umpires were pointing in different directions there. So the controlling umpire said one way, the non-controlling umpire said the other way, and the non-controlling senior umpire got the chocolates.
Like a hold to me, but Van Dam sending it down into the Ahern direction. Leary just running past it. Hubbard in there. Handball up to Williams. He's caught. Ahern back in there. He got the handball to Griffiths. Harvey Griffiths sends it deep. A one-on-one. Donnelly first to the ball here. He's got Mansell for company. Mansell brings him down. Oh, super stuff from Mansell. And holding the footy paid against Donnelly. That's a big win.
That's a huge win. Here's the hold from the previous free kick. Yeah, you can see Tompkinson had a hold of him there. And Mansell's going to get sent off for the blood rule too. And look who's lurking. Bradley Cox-Goodyear.
Yes, Cox-Goodyear. They'd love it if he's the man who gets to take the kick. And it looks like that might be the case as Mansell with the claret going down there. Huge win. Donnelly backed himself. I reckon Mansell's playing more of a defensive forward role on Donnelly today. Just trying to keep him honest, stop the intercepting that he's so prolific with, those intercept marks. He's such a key to the way these Tigers set up. Wouldn't surprise me if he's been given the job today, just to clamp down on him, Mansell. Big win early. Can Cox-Goodyear convert and extend the lead to 12 points? Normally as reliable as they come in front of goal. He's put this one across the face, but it's working back beautifully. Bradley Cox-Goodyear kicks the goal. He kicked two absolute beauties in the week 1 final, and he started off strong here today.
Cheapers creepers, that did a lot of work in the air. That was going well and truly across the face of goal, and just like a Dizzy Gillespie ball, worked back. Look at that. That is going out on the full, and then it's curved back beautifully.
That's hooped.
Hooped a country mile, and then he told the crowd to just pipe down a little bit too, didn't he? Don't mind that from the champ. Bradley Cox-Goodyear back in the middle. Tompkinson's moved into the ruck against Lee. Lee wins it, looking for Pearce off the ground. Scrappy stuff. Donnelly's on the bottom of the pack. Ragdolling. A player is Tompkinson. We'll see a ball up. I think that might be Theo Ives. It is. Umpire will ball it up. Can't be long left in the term. Simpson left it behind. Quick rush kick forward by the Bombers. And that's a quality mark taken by Will Clifford. We'll cross down now to Bo Downham, who's on the boundary. What's happening down there, Bo?
Yeah, Mansell just come off with a bit of blood to the side of the head. Looks like on the lip as well, so just getting that scraped up at the moment.
Neil sends it over the top to Carter. Carter wheels onto the left. Just over the head of Soupy Campbell, though. Spills into dispute. Numbers favour the Bombers. Fletcher Bennett got it to Vandam. Had to get rid of it. He was sharp. He did so. Got it to Young. Young now looking for Nicholas. Across to deal with him was Bastick. Spiked it away and finds the boundary line. Just every time the Tigers go forward, it just seems like there's an outnumber in favour of the Bombers.
Yeah, I think they're playing that extra player down, whether the Tigers are pushing a player up around the footy or whether the Bombers are just dropping someone back. It looks like Eddie Cole's coming on off the bench here, will be the extra centre wing. Rush kick forward, work down, Clifford couldn't quite. Griffiths, he's been so good, got stripped of it. Now Clifford, handballed out wide. Tigers look to attack again. Zeitzen, hard at the foot, he got collected by Bradley Cox-Goodyear. Now they move the ball forward again, do the Bombers. Griffiths to fly, worked under the ball. Was McCulloch. Umpire circling. It's a 12-point margin here. The Tigers 1-2-8 to the Bombers 3-2-20.
The shadows of quarter time here. It's been a strong start from the visitors. And there is the siren to end the first quarter. It's a 12-point lead to North Launceston. The Tigers jumped out pretty sharply in the first 5 or 6 minutes, but from then on, the Bombers really good value, and a 12-point lead, well earned at quarter time. They're on top of things. It's been an intense grand final, but so far just looking the more threatening when they go forward.
They certainly are. Goal kickers for the Tigers. Eddie Cole with a solitary goal, the first of the game. And then the Bombers, Harvey Griffiths, Blade Salzberger and Brad Cox-Goodyear with one to silence his critics from the Kingborough crowd. Right in front of that. It's a 12-point margin, as you mentioned, Andrew Cooling. Better players for that quarter rather.
I thought Harvey Griffiths was outstanding in the forward half. I thought he won some really key contested ball in big situations. Bradley Cox-Goodyear, he pushed up around the ball for those first few minutes to get more involved, and he kicked the clutch goal. And the defences look pretty settled. I've liked the work of Fletcher Bennett and Chug behind the ball. I just think they've made some really good decisions. So they've probably been my best for the Bombers. Your thoughts on the Tigers?
It's hard to say because they don't seem to be getting a lot of it. I thought Murray Bastick was excellent off half-back. There's plenty of ball down there. Ben Donnelly looks pretty good. I think they need a little more from their midfielders. That group right there on screen, they just need to get the ball in their hands and get a little bit more movement. I thought Zeitzen's been providing a target but hasn't been able to get first touch on the footy. They just need a bit more. I think down back has been their strength. Elijah Reardon's done a couple of things in patches, but it's a 12-point margin to the Northern Bombers. They lead 3-2-20 to the Tigers 1-2-8. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first term. This was the first goal of the game. Eddie Cole, after he put a bit of mayonnaise on a hold off the ball. Then a little bit of push and shove broke out there. Eddie Cole there just flexing up for the crowd. This is a sensational bit of work from Salzberger on the left foot. Almost got wrong-footed a little bit there, Andrew Cooling. But he loved it.
He did so well to straighten up onto the left there. And then he was the man, Harvey Griffiths, who's causing him all sorts of problems at half forward. And he's able to sneak in behind and get a goal as well. He's had a brilliant start to this match, Harvey Griffiths.
Didn't he love it too? Wheeling around, tongue out, locks flowing. And then Brad Cox-Goodyear, after a free kick was awarded, came in and did worked some magic. Sensational stuff, and just told the crowd, if you just wouldn't mind being a little quieter, please. I'm playing a game of footy here. North Launceston by 12 points here at quarter time. My name's Tubes Taylor. I'm joined by Andrew Cooling. We're going to take a quick break here. It's the North Launceston Bombers over the Kingborough Tigers by 12 points at quarter time in the TSL Grand Final. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Say it loudly and proudly. Tasmania!
Hello Saws and Mowers is a family-run business. It was started well over 30 years ago. It was originally a saw shop. It has evolved into a mower shop. We have the expertise of the staff with my background in turf.
We are the statewide distributors of Toro. It is the world-leading turf company. So if you love to spend time in your backyard and you love to make your lawn looking like a bowling green, come and see us.
Hi, I'm Ray Chamberlain, and here are the top reasons why you should become an AFL umpire. You love intellectual conversations.
I know you're not. No, I said on.
and he said no. Everybody knows you need help with your anger management issues.
We don't talk to one another like that. It's okay.
You just can't keep up with the young ones any longer.
He's run down.
Because you like to get paid to keep fit.
Blow your whistle, show your decision, show your good strong signals, then get on your bike and go.
It's the best game in the world.
Welcome back here to North Hobart Oval. TSL Grand Final day. It's the Northern Bombers 3-2-20 leading the Kingborough Tigers 1-8 after quarter number one. It's been a physical battle. It's been a game with a pretty good pace and tempo about it. It's been furiously contested at times, but I think for mine, the Northern Bombers, pretty good value for their lead as the quarter wore on. Just seemed to get better and better. The Tigers have had some opportunities going inside forward 50, but just haven't been able to find those marking targets. Credit you've got to give to the North Launceston defence, who've held pretty firm, and then back the other way, they've looked pretty dangerous. We know how many threats they have in that forward half. Young Brandon Leary, he's absolutely electric. Harvey Griffiths has been outstanding so far. Cox Goodyear, the Hudson medalist. There's some real live wires when the ball hits the deck down there in particular, and I think that's where they're getting the better of the Tigers in particular, when the ball does hit the deck inside their forward 50. But look, there's plenty of gears to go up, I think, for the Kingborough Tigers. Their midfield hasn't been firing on all cylinders yet, and that's probably the real strength of this side. It's where you fancy they might be able to work their way back into it. So we'll throw down to Bo Down. I'm down on the boundary. Have you got an update for us, Bo?
Yeah, we do, Drew. It's a pretty hot ball out there at the moment, so Coach Trembon was just saying let's settle the back six and really dig in the next half an hour. He's pretty cool, calm, collected, as you'd know, so he's not stressing just yet, but just if they can settle down their back six, that's something they're going to be looking for.
Yeah, typically measured. Here's the Kingborough Tigers coach. He wouldn't be hitting any panic alarms just yet. His side well and truly in this one. We're ready to go in quarter number two. Alex Lee and Jack Tompkinson ready to resume their duel in the ruck. Simpson opposed to Cole. It's been a good battle so far. Heath Onlington looks like he's moved inside. Nicholas Baker pushing into the middle there for the Tigers. So a slight change there. So rejoined by Tubes Taylor. Tubes, ready to go here in quarter number two.
Yeah, interesting. We haven't called Nick Baker's name too much in this term at all. And he's an elite user of the footy. If they can get the ball in his hands, the Tigers will be okay. Umpire holds the ball aloft. Tompkinson and Lee to do battle. Second term underway here at North Hobart Oval. Tompkinson almost burrows over the top. Quick kick forward was okay from Ollington off the ground. Handball comes out to Avent. Sending the ball inside forward 50. Griffiths gets pushed off the ball by Bassick. Big high tackle laid. Be a free kick going the way of the Tigers. And it's Clifford.
Yeah, Pearce just collecting him high as he drops that one short for his brother, who drives it over the top. It's a beautiful kick. Godomski in space, man. Shandon closing, but Godomski goes looking for Carter. Couldn't quite find him as he dives after it in the pocket. And it trickles out of play. But transitioned the ball very sharply there. Godomski just able to sneak out into some space. Drive one looking for Carter.
It's been a nice catch in the gully if he'd have taken that one.
In Superman style. It's been tough sledding so far for the Tigers forwards. Marks inside 50, a rare commodity thus far. Gardner doing the ruck work against Lee. Carter trying to burrow through, released it to Cole. Paddles it forward. Still some danger lurking. Here's O'Neill trying to bust through, but Simpson has a hold of him.
Baker can't get a free run at the footy there. He just ran over the top of it. Lee and Carter. Lee wins it down to Lovell, who wheels around, bends one back. Wow! Kieran Lovell take a bow. It's a beauty. Through for a goal, and the margin back to 6 points.
Pure class from Kieran Lovell. That is the star power he brings. The former AFL player just turned the back, knew where the goals were, and just worked it back beautifully. That is some sharp work from Lovell, who spent much of his time in quarter number one forward. He's been injured of late. just made it back for the qualifying final, but limped off injured in the second quarter of that one.
Some serious eyebrow work there from Kieran Lovell too. He got a little mad and looked a bit serious. Good to see him up forward. And we're back in the middle.
A brilliant finish from Lovell, cuts the margin to 6 as Tompkinson gets the better of Lee. Clifford gathers that. Ollington drapes all over him though. And they'll go once more. It's a beautiful day for football here at North Hobart. First grand final here in many moons as Simpson wraps up Cole. Repeat stoppages in the middle of the ground was very much the order of the Development League final. Won by North Hobart earlier today. Tompkinson reaches over the top, palmed it down. Free kick. No, the umpire's just saying, I'll have it. It's spilt out. No one able to get any separation here. They'll go once more, Lee and Tompkinson. It's Lee slapping it down, but to the opposition. Worked up towards the half-forward line. Lovell lurking dangerously, applying some pressure from behind. And a further stoppage here. So they advance the ball to the half-forward line. The Tigers looking to start this quarter sharply after trailing by 2 goals after 1. Tompkinson, Lovell gets his kick away. He was just tackled in time though. Zeitzen coming through the other direction, copping a nasty one there. It was Bennett. Here's Lovell. He's captured, just got a handball away in time. Now Eddie Cole, Pierce a hold of him, diving on top Ollington. Another ball up.
Eddie Cole trying really hard to keep it there between his knees. Bennett still down behind play. Gets up, copped a nasty backside there as Zeitzen tried to protect the ball area. Lee wins it down. Simpson can't get a hold of it. Clifford right on top of him. Diving there on the ball was Chug. Umpire circles and will ball it up again. 4 minutes gone in the second term. Kingborough trail by 6 points. North Lonnie 3-2-20 lead the Tigers 2-2-14. One down, Lovell. Quick rush kick goes through from behind.
There's a nice luxury you have to be able to play Kieran Lovell as a forward, such as their midfield depth. And he's showing the threat he has about him here in quarter number 2 as Van Dam launches this one outside 50. Red and just got worked out. Gadomski round the corner. Awkward one for Gardner. Oh, met solidly there. His Bollers defender in Nicholas. Ball allowed to go on. There'll be a ball up. It's tough coming together there. And the umpire eventually says, I'll have it at half forward for the Tigers. As Lee leaps into Tompkinson, bounced off his chest, sticking a boot out at Simpson, out towards Pierce. And again, trickles out of play as it kicks off behind the ball. No shock to see Jeff Tompkinson involved in that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Might have been a hit off the ball. Boundary throw in, just forward of centre for the Tigers. Lee and Tompkinson to do battle. Tompkinson worked to the front, did okay, down to Lovell. Always seems to have that little bit of extra time, pops it up. Marcus Gardner sits under the footy, put his hands up, couldn't quite gather. O'Neill, been good, tackled hard. Well done, Van Dam. And we'll see a ball up. Zeitzen having a crack with him, and that might be a free kick. Umpire saw it. Van Dam collected him right on the chin, and the undisciplined act results in a shot on goal.
Yeah, we had a great shot of there. Really worked from the cameraman, but if you're going to do the jumper punches, keep them low. That just slipped up on the chin, and it was right under the umpire's nose. He's always going to pay it. This could be an absolute gift.
Down in the box. We cut to the right area. Comes a bit late here from Van Dam. Push there, that was fine. This is the bit here. Got them in the chops. Zeitzen to have a shot on goal, to tie it all, in fact, put the Tigers in front. First year at the Tigers, in comes James Zeitzen, and he's tugged it to the near side. Maybe the footy gods are smiling on North Launceston. 4 points the margin in favour of the Bombers.
So Young from fullback had a profound influence last week when he was swung forward to tag Baker Smith in the last quarter. Really helped swing that game through the hands there of Ollington. And now the dangerous level starting to become heavily involved. Tompkinson sold a little candy and then swings one deep inside the forward 50. Flying in from the side, Bennett, umpire spotted something. It's a free kick going the way of College, I think.
Not sure what it was for.
It's going to be a free to Max College, so we'll see if he can take advantage.
Max College, the recipient. Here we look. Gee, it was a very soft free kick and pushing the back against Lockie Mitchell.
I'm still not entirely sure what it's for after that replay, to be honest, but yeah, you've got to take advantage of these opportunities here at the Tigers. Can College accept the gift? He cannot. Puts it across the faces, and I'm sure a few North Launceston fans yelling out, ball don't lie right now.
3 points the margin, ball comes back out. Simpson with the footy. Driving ball. And that should be easily chopped off. It is by Golding. Handball's off to Reardon. Reardon sends it down towards Zeitzen. Zeitzen back into Carter. Carter sold Candy into trouble. Gave it off to Cole, who sent a 9-9 chip high. Young underneath it. Simpson gathers. That's a great grab going back to the flight for Brereton. Brereton at half forward. Bit of space in front of Kieran Lovell. He decides against that and goes long. Pushed under the footy again. Umpire let that one go. Brad Cox-Goodyear tackled Will Campbell. A couple of blood nuts going at it. We'll see a ball up.
Elijah Reardon and Kieran Lovell starting to get really involved for the Tigers. That will please Trent Baumler as some more off the ball. Fracas will result in a free kick. Going to Baker, I think.
Yeah, it was. I saw it. It was a high hit by Salzberger. Again, not a lot of in it, ticky touchwood stuff.
Some ill discipline costing the Bombers here. Look, they've shown they've got zero tolerance for that today. They're going to play the free kick, so stop doing it, I reckon. Nick Baker, big
Baker,
chance here.
Huge. In he comes. Played at Sorrel last year and sends that one home. And puts the Tigers in front by 3 points. Kingborough 3-5-23. Lead North Launceston 3-2-20. 9.5 minutes gone.
Well, they've dominated the opening 10 minutes of this quarter. The Tigers, it's scarcely gone forward of centre for the Bombers. This has been all one-way traffic. It's been a great response from the Tigers after a pretty strong opening act from the Bombers in the first quarter. 2 goals clear. They've erased that and lead this one by 3 points as they've started to find some. They've got a couple of free kicks admittedly, but found some targets inside forward 50 as well. And some of their key movers starting to get involved. As the umpire throws it up. Lee leapt early. A little palm off there and then worked it to Simpson. Simpson inside the forward 50. Domsky doing some defensive work there. Ahern picks it up. Doxy slims him down. There'll be a ball up forward for the Bombers. They look to get something going here in quarter number 2. Tigers in the ascendancy for the time being. It's Tompkinson over the top. Eddie Cole tries to wriggle free. Got the handball back to Baker. Baker goes wide for Gardner. Van Dam took front position and spoils it out of play.
That was a great defensive punch from Jean-Claude Van Dam. Sensational stuff. Sorry, Oscar Van Dam.
Similar profiles, certainly in the north of the state.
Boundary throw in here at centre wing. It's a good haircut from the boundary umpire too. Tompkinson works his way to the front, was held off the footy, might get a free kick here. In fact, he does. He gives it off to Cole. Cole sends the ball inside forward 50. Who's at home? Zeitzen trying hard. Out the back it comes for Young, who gave it off to Bennett, and that kick is out of bounds on the floor, off the side of Lockie Mitchell's boot. It'll be Cole to take the free kick on the forward side of centre wing. 11.5 minutes gone in the second term. Still anyone's game. Cole with a worm burner. Lee gobbles that up. Got infringed against, in my opinion. Quick kick rushed by Golding. Bouncing ball inside forward 50. Big Sausage can't get it. Van Dam goes back. And now Fletcher Bennett with a clearing kick.
Oh, it's a bit of a dicey one, though. Invites some danger. Clifford, whistle's gone. Free kick will relieve the pressure. Harry Bales, the recipient, has just got themselves into a spot of bother, but Bales can settle things down. Cox Goodyear led. That was ignored. He'll instead go down the line to the contest. Flying in Theo Ives. Reels in the back. First involvement from Ives for the afternoon. Quarter number 1. Wants 50. Not going to get it. Ives chips it short for Young. Young doesn't have the switch on, but he's got Avent in the bullseye. That's where he heads. Nice kick. So working their way through the zone here. Avent, experienced player. He's off. He has to go. He drives it inside the forward 50. Spoiled away, though, into the path of Ollington. First to it. Ollington to Cox Goodyear. Cox Goodyear tackled off his snap. High, says the umpire. Tompkinson collecting him, and Cox Goodyear is going to get a free kick very much in his scoring range.
Cox Goodyear still down behind play. He'll get up, though. He's a tough customer. The kick is not downfield. It'll be Brad Cox Goodyear's free kick. Let's take a look.
Got him in the face on the way down. So very much within range for the Hudson medalist. He's kicked 1 today. He kicked 2 in the qualifying final as Tompkinson heads off with
Dislocated
shoulder
finger.
injury.
Dislocated finger.
We'll get Bo Downham on that one. But Cox Goodyear will kick from inside 50 to restore the Bombers' lead. He sends it on its way, and he's pulled it across the face and only just snuck it in for a behind Bo Downham.
Yeah, so that's like 2 injuries at the moment now. Jack Tompkinson with that finger, and Mitch Nicholas is sat at the back of the bench with nearly a bit of ice on him, so that right shoulder's playing up for him.
So some injury chances as the Tigers storm forward. They're out the back. The umpire's pulled them back.
No advantage there, or not properly done according to the umpire. So they'll have to bring it all the way back, 100 metres back to the half-back line.
The Bombers can roll back the defence now.
Yeah. It'll be Jakey Williams, who goes short, finding Golding. Golding's got Sausage Gardner on a lead. Decides against that and goes further afield. Zeitzen flies high. O'Neill trying hard. Through with pace. He came. He gathered the footy and then got jumped on by 5 or 6 Bombers. Zeitzen with a rushed kick forward. Carter protects the drop zone beautifully. That is a great mark to Tyler Carter, who seems to have a pair of shorts on that are 2-3 sizes too big for him, and he got 52. So this mark it down. A certain goal to Tyler Carter. How about the mark? Zeitzen with a rush kick.
Protected the space beautifully. It's the goalless kick, but how about Eddie Cole just sucking in man Shandon there to get the 50? Absolutely played him like a fiddle. Gave him a pat on the head afterwards. He knew what he was doing, sucked him in, got the 50. And some ill discipline creeping into the Bombers game here.
4-5-29, the Tigers lead the Bombers 3-3-21. 15.5 minutes gone in the second term, and this is the goal from Tyler Carter. Got a pair of board shorts on. He goes up and gives Lockie Mitchell a little nod. And we're back in the middle.
Tried to goad Mitchell into another one. So back to the middle. Suddenly the Tigers have taken control of this game. 8 points ahead. They've kicked the opening few goals of quarter number 2. There's a 6-6-6 warning there for the Bombers. They weren't set up properly. So there's warning number 1. It'll be tossed up. Lee spikes it over the top in the Sulzberger direction. He took it, but Clifford claimed him. Handball out the back, and here's Joey Brewer. He curls one up towards the half-forward line, arriving up at O'Neill. Here's Elijah Reardon. Eddie Cole. Eddie Cole gave it by hand to O'Neill. O'Neill driving it towards Carter. Just lost his footing and Vandam sees it out of play. We called for the Tigers midfield to need to get a bit more on top. They're doing it here in quarter number 2. They're dominating.
Can't understate the importance of Elijah Reardon there, just to keep the ball in front. His skills below his knees are outstanding. Boundary throw in. Carter up against Lee. Carter and Lee fight out a draw. Clifford rushed kick behind. Clifford rather. 9 points the margin. 4-6-30. The Tigers lead the Bombers 3-3-21. Young bringing the ball out for the Bombers. Sending the ball long. Strong mark, Donnelly. Umpire's calling touched off the line.
Oh, where's your sense of occasion, umpire?
It's a ball in. I think if he was going to do that anywhere on the ground, he's picked the wrong spot to do that, the boundary umpire. That is right in front of the Tigers faithful. Ball in. Gardner works it down. Clifford gets it off to Baker. Baker's rush kick. Good pressure again. Now it's rolling out the back. Who's at home? O'Neill. He's been lively. Tompkinson dives on the footy, manages to get up. Simpson caught one high. Fair enough, free kick. No, it's going to Tompkinson. So an earlier free kick to the Simpson high, maybe for a hold off the ball. Tompkinson, we know he's a beautiful thumping kick of the footy. Lovell ran around the back. Brewer trying to sneak in and get one too, but Tompkinson's got the distance easy here. He's getting close to the man on the mark because he's going for a pass to Carter through the fingertips there. Simpson gathered the ball, caught one high, free kick to the Bombers.
A relieving free kick, that one, as it was starting to look a little dangerous there, but the Bombers firmly on the back foot here in quarter number 2. They under a bit of an onslaught at the back for the opening 19 minutes. But do with a little bit of possession here, and they'll chip one in short. And he finds Bales. Harry Bales. He doesn't have anything on immediately, so shifts it sideways to Mitchell. Sulzberger presenting short. Lee Flang heading up. Goes further afield. Down the line he goes, up in the Harvey Griffiths direction. Now the speedy man Shandon arches the back and turns onto the left. Sends them inside the forward 50 arc. Numbers with the Tigers, trying to crash through a couple. Spilt to Harvey Griffiths, steadies onto the right. His kick was charged down. Leary lurking now. He lays the tackle on Clifford. He's made no effort to get rid of that. Oh, umpire says, I'll have it. Quarter number 1, they were red hot on that one. It'll be a forward 50 stoppage. Lee opposed to Gardner. Gardner won it down. Golding tapped it into Simpson. Cox Goodyear tries to take a man on. Spilt to Clifford. His handball out, and now they've cleared defensive 50. Up towards Seitzen. Couldn't quite complete the mark. Slap forward by Bales. Nice work, Williams, but then running into trouble is Reardon, and Ahern's got him. So Ahern can send the Bombers inside the forward 50 here as we tick into red time in quarter number 2. In need of a goal here, the Bombers. Been on the back foot this quarter. Set-up kick is a poor one, right in the path there of Tompkinson. Cleared the area, though. Sliding in his Seitzen to take a good mark.
They look okay, the Tigers. They bring the ball out. Punched away, well done. Lockie Mitchell. Been one of their best so far. Avon can't gather. And we'll see a ball in. 20.5 minutes gone. 9-point margin to the Tigers. It'll be Lee and Gardner for the throw-in to contest at centre wing. Gardner wins it down. Cole to Clifford, who was in trouble. Umpire circles and will ball it up. Doesn't seem to be any real ascendancy here from either side. Andrew Cooling, centre wing. Lee worked it forward. Clifford got it from Cole. Over the top for Golding, who wheels around, looking for College. At the back, Lee Flang got his handball away to Mitchell. Mitchell's handball okay. Trouble for the Bombers. They're going to work it out here. It's nicely done. Sulzberger just to slow things down a little, right in front of the Bombers faithful. Short kick. Reardon did really well, held his man off the ball. Big smother laid. They went back and got it though. Carter flew high, bouncing ball out the back. Van Dam's going to get there first. Shrugged the tackle off nicely. Avent got it out to Salzburger. Salzburger short to Lee. Lee gave it back to Van Dam. Van Dam ran into trouble. They've got numbers here, do the Bombers. Big tackle again. Clifford shrugs past Lee, now into some space, sends it down towards Tompkinson. Mitchell fell over at an inopportune time, and now a chance for the big fella to go goalward. And he's got another one, Jack Tompkinson, for the Tigers. And the margin extends further out to 15 points.
The value of keeping your feet in the contest there. Tompkinson just getting the better of Mitchell, just lost his footing at the most inopportune of times. Giving up a bit of size here, Tompkinson. No, not a push, that's fair enough. And then just able to steady. And he roars, does Jack Tompkinson. He loved that one. And they're out by 15 points. The Tigers have kicked 4 goals to none this quarter. They're bossing it. And it's the Bombers in need of a response. As they head back to the middle, Gardner into the ruck.
The Bombers have only managed to behind this term, Andrew Cooling. 23 minutes gone in the second term.
The game firmly on the Tigers' terms. Much like the third quarter of the qualifying final, they just flick the switch and taking control. Bombers could do with one before the halftime break. Lee won it down, but first use went the Tigers' way. Lee able to get the clear and kick forward up towards Ives, but he's just outpointed by Donnelly, who takes a great intercept mark. The competition's premier fullback, Ben Donnelly, doing it nicely, chips it short for Gardner. Presenting up, he's got a couple of options, went sideways to Eddie Cole. The pressure from Leary on the mark, then took him on. Eddie Cole driving it now up in the Zeitzen direction. Leaflang did really well, takes the intercept. So 24 minutes tick by here. 15 points the lead. Dicey kick, invited in Campbell, spilt the way of Baker. He ran over the top of it, then he surely got one in the back. And yes, the umpire spots it. It'll be a free kick to the Tigers on centre wing.
That's professional stuff from Bradley Cox-Goodyear out there on centre wing, just pretending to pick up the ball. And Baker now for the Tigers at centre wing. Sends one down towards Campbell. Zeitzen came late. Through hard there was Webb. Got it back now. Baker somehow got a handball away. Salzburger's going to get there first. They raffle it. Eddie Cole's down behind play. Baker sends one forward again. Through here. That might be College who's got the free kick. It is. Umpire's pulled it out and given it to Avent. Avent goes further afield as we cross down now to Bo Downham.
Yeah, guys, Mitchell Nicholas has been on the bench for about 5 or 6 minutes here with a right shoulder injury and not looking like he's going to come back on. We'll keep you updated.
So perhaps a man down, Andrew Cooling.
A big blow for the Bombers that if they're down to 3 on the Pine. As the ball spills the way of Cox-Goodyear, got one over the shoulder from Webb. Webb in disagreement, but decision will go the way of the Bombers player coach. He just shifted sideways. Slow playing little. Sulzberger happy just to slow the tempo down. Cox-Goodyear offering something short. He'll go down the line instead. Kicks towards the contest. Spoiled up in the air with the hands of McCulloch. Burrowing through here, Bastic, but he's locked up. It'll be a stoppage just outside the forward 50 of the Bombers. It's scarcely been down this end of the ground this quarter as the ball's worked back towards Lovell. Start of the quarter red hot. High ball up towards Zeitzen, spoiled away from him. Spilt back in the direction of Lovell, and now they look to charge off half back through Bastic. It was a bad handball though. Invited some danger. Coughed it up there to Avent. Avent with a little dink of a kick and then worked towards the Griffiths direction. Spoiled away from Leary. Off hands. Hubbard in there. He lays a tackle. And there'll be a stoppage inside the forward 50 arc here for the Bombers.
They've done really well there, the Tigers, to hold that up. They were outnumbered. The entry inside forward 50 was okay. And there goes the siren for half-time, so the Tigers will be delighted with that. It is a 4-goal-to-none second term. The Tigers 5-6-36 lead the Bombers 3-3-21. Goal kickers for the Tigers, well, there were 4 of them in that term. And Tyler Carter, Jack Tompkinson, Kieran Lovell and Nick Baker all kicked 1 each. For the Bombers, Brad Cox-Goodyear, Blade Salzberger and Harvey Griffiths kicking the goals. It's a 15-point margin in favour of the Kingborough Tigers at half-time, Andrew Cooling. What did you make of the first half of that match?
Well, they flipped the script in quarter number 2, did the Tigers. They were absolutely sensational in that second term. They were probably beaten at the contest in the first term by the Bombers midfield brigade. That absolutely turned on its head there in the second term. Baker, I thought, started to have a bit of influence. They moved him onto the ball. We saw a bit more of Clifford and Cole, and Kieran Lovell's class playing more of a forward role this afternoon. He started to get heavily involved. And just the Bombers couldn't get their hands on the footy. Really, whenever they had it, it was kind of panicked, clear it out, a defence-type operation for them. They just need to start to even it up around the contest a little more, because if we see another quarter like that, Kingborough could lock this one away.
At quarter time, we said that the Kingborough Tigers midfield really needed to get on top, and they certainly did. We saw everyone involved, Lockie Clifford and Eddie Cole in particular, stepped up. We saw Will Campbell chipping in with bits and pieces, Elijah Reardon. They just couldn't gather the ball out of half-back, the Bombers. They had plenty of it.
Yeah.
And plenty of open looks, and they butchered the ball a little bit coming through from their half-back to that half-forward line. They just butchered the ball a touch.
Yeah, I think you've got to give some credit to the forward pressure the Tigers were applying on some of those kicks too. The likes of O'Neill and Williams, probably unheralded players, but doing some great stuff off the ball.
I was about to bring up George O'Neill,
Yeah.
particularly in that particular second term. I thought he was sensational. We're going to have a look at the highlights for the second term. Let's take a look at them here, thanks to Cripps. This was a great goal from Kieran Lovell, just bending it back, and didn't it work around nicely? And then a little bit of Naruto, if you like, the old power-up stance from Kieran Lovell. A nice goal to Nick Baker after he got a free kick. Sent it straight over the goal umpire's lid. And then he's pointing up to the Friends School and said, mark it down, please. This was great from Zeitson, just to rush a kick. And Tyler Carter in the end, working it beautifully, taking the mark in front, and then got the 50-metre penalty, courtesy of a bit of Eddie Cole work.
It's probably the other aspect of that second quarter, just a lack of discipline from the Bombers. They gave away a number of silly free kicks off the ball. Here was the final goal of the quarter. Tompkinson just kept his feet there. Unfortunately, Mitchell just perhaps a little off put by the bigger body there, unable to keep his feet. Tompkinson with strength held and kicked the goal. That was the fourth and final of that quarter. 4-0 as they reversed a 2-goal deficit and have a 15-point lead at the half-time break.
They do. Kingborough Tigers 5-6-36 lead North Launceston Bombers 3-3-21. We'll take a quick break here. It's half-time. My name's Chibs Taylor. I'm joined by Andrew Cooling. We'll be right back in just a few moments with the second half of the TSL Grand Final here at North Hobart Oval. Do not go anywhere.
Hello Saws and Mowers is a family-run business. It was started well over 30 years ago. It was originally a saw shop. It was evolved into a mower shop. We have the expertise of the staff with my background in turf.
We are the statewide distributors of Toro. It is the world-leading turf company. So if you love to spend time in your backyard and you love to make your lawn looking like a bowling green, come and see us.
In my heyday, I kicked a bag every game. Can't recall a tackle ever being laid on me. The opposition, to be frank, feared me. And now I'm back. The hot pies, the deep heat, the stretches, the camaraderie, the sound of the siren, the cheers of the crowd. And I'm finally getting paid for it.
I'm going to bounce the house down today.
Say it loudly and proudly. Tasmania!
Hi, I'm Ray Chamberlain, and here are the top reasons why you should become an AFL umpire. You love intellectual conversations.
I know you're not. No, I said.
And you said no. You clearly know the game better than any other umpire you've ever seen.
Oh, that was a free kick, umpire. What are you doing?
Everybody knows you need help with your anger management issues.
We don't talk to one another like that. It's okay.
Because dispute resolution is your forte.
They're the rules, mate. I didn't write the book. I've just read it, all right?
You just can't keep up with the young ones any longer.
She's wrapped up and brought to ground.
Because you like to get paid to keep fit.
Blow your whistle, show your decision, show your good strong signals, then get on your bike and go.
Because you love being the centre of attention. Anything high vis is just your colour. You still love the game.
The centering kick. The mark has been taken by umpire Carey.
It's the best game in the world.
Welcome back to North Hobart Oval. It is the Crips 2023 Tasmanian State League Grand Final. My name is Tubes Taylor. I'm joined by Andrew Cooling. It is half-time here currently, third term about to get underway. It's a 15-point margin in favour of those men on screen right there. The Kingborough Tigers lead 5-6-36 to North Launceston 3-3-21. Andrew Cooling, first half we've talked about. What happens now?
Well, I think obviously the Tigers are going to want a continuation of that second term. The Northern Bombers, they're going to want to square things up around the contest. Generally in the head-to-heads this year, neither team has been able to kind of stay in the ascendancy for really more than a quarter at a time. It's been pretty rare that a team's dominated consecutive quarters, so I'm expecting the Bombers to hit back in a big way.
Absolutely, and make no mistake, this is a side that's been in the last 10 grand finals, they've been in 9 of them. So watch out for the Bombers marching in to the last half of this game. The two Tigers to watch, I think, is that man. You might see him right there, number 21, the big fella, Jack Tompkinson. He's one to watch for mine in this term. And for the Bombers, I'm going to call it early, Brandon Leary. If that ball makes its way into the forward 50 for the Bombers, watch out for Brandon Leary. He's a live wire, one of the hottest talents in the Tasmanian State League. And not only did he make the team of the year, he also made, for the under-22s, he also made the team of the year for the whole league. That is a sensational effort from him. Keep an eye on him. We've got some updates from the sideline. Bo Downham is down boundary side. Bo, what have you got for us?
Yeah, it looks like North Launceston are going to be a man down here. Mitchell Nicholas not making his way to the bench, and he's not on the field either, I don't think. I didn't see him in the warm-up, so it looks like it might be a right shoulder injury for him, Tubes.
Well, that's bad news for North Launceston Bombers. A man down on the boundary. There is Brandon Leary right on your screen, number 5 for the Bombers. He's the one, I think, that might try and drag his beloved Bombers back into the game. Salzberger in the middle. Alex Lee copping a little bit of attention from Lockie Clifford, the opposition captain, as we are about to get underway for the third term of this TSL Grand Final. Umpires just checking the 666, holding the ball aloft. We're away.
False start there as the umpire tells Sulzberger to clear out. Now we're good to go. Underway in the second half of the grand final. Tigers by 15 points. Baker over the top of it. Tompkinson back to Baker. Baker shrugs free of Sulzberger, then steadies onto the right foot and sends it up to Zeitzen. Takes a nice mark in stride. Quickly moves it in towards Lovell over his head. Out the back, Tyler Carter, the crafty Carter. He snaps around the corner and misses. Out on the full. As they surge forward there, the Tigers. Carter unable to take advantage.
Gee, that would have been a hot start from the Tigers. Oh dear.
That's a howler of a kick, turns it over and driving it straight back from whence it came is Lockie Clifford. An absolute gift of a goal there and the perfect start to the second half for the Kingborough Tigers.
Lockie Mitchell just with a turnover looking for Harry Bales. Cooked it over his head. And the numbers with the Tigers, Lockie Clifford, the captain's goal. Wow, hot start. Just see this. An elite finish too. As easy as you like. He had no one near him. Could have almost ran it right to the top of the square. And the captain celebrated hard.
Not the start the Bombers were after there. Absolutely gifting the Tigers the opening goal. And they're now 21 points ahead. Back to the middle, Tompkinson and Lee. Lee won it down, but straight to Clifford again. Couldn't take a hold of the footy. He's wrapped up. There'll be a ball up again in the middle of the ground. They really worked their way on top in the midfield in that second term. Looking to pick up where they left off.
Ruck contest won down by Lee. Working off the ball was Baker. He got DDT'd by Heath Ollington. And we'll see a ball up. Last time they met was a similar situation, a tight game, but the Tigers blew the Bombers out of the water. That's good pressure. Caught in the tackle was Simpson. We'll see another ball up. Tompkinson and Lee do battle again. No one left it. It came through for Clifford. Baker gave it back to Webb. Webb left it behind, then gave it back to Baker. Wheeling around onto the right boot. That's a good kick. Finds his man in Williams. Williams hasn't got a lot to kick to here. No real leads of any substance, so he goes long to Carter. Oh, and there's a chance for Lovell. Can he get another one? He bends one around the corner. It's through. Kieran Lovell has a couple and extends the margin to 17 points. 27 points, Tubes, is simple maths. 3 minutes gone in the third term. Goodness me.
3 minutes gone, 2 goals on the board already, and their key movers, Clifford and Lovell, doing the damage. He is so dangerous. Just look at that change of direction, explosive. And the finish for the second time today, just unerring over the shoulder around the corner. Great goal sense, but just the ability to turn on a dime there from Kieran Lovell. That is why he's one of the best in the business. And the Tigers are beginning to roar here at North Hobart Oval. 27 points. It's a concerning gap if you're a Bombers fan. They need the next goal here. A blistering start to the quarter. Lee spiked it down. Which way will the clearance go? Helped onwards though. A free kick will go the way of the Bombers. So that will enable them to move it forward. It's going to go to Heath Ollington into this team after a season with the Devils. Ollington, a player with a bright future. He launches this one long. Leary and Griffiths there. Spiked away though by Bastick. Ball comes back in. Bastick again. Claim. Just got the handball, but Griffiths stole it and fires on goalman Shandon, the lone hand down there. And he was outsized by Blake McCulloch, who takes the relieving mark.
That's a great mark by McCulloch in defence, inside defensive 50. He'll go across the face of goal. Finds his man in Will Clifford, who plays on quickly. Or Bastick up against Cox Goodyear. Cox Goodyear maybe to get his Bombers back on the board for the first goal in a long time. Is that a hold off the ball? No. Umpire says it's a goal. Waiting for it, waiting for it. Dramatic stuff from the umpires. I think that's a goal. It is. Bradley Cox Goodyear gets his second goal of the game and keeps the Bombers' dream alive. Margin back to 21 points.
I'll have to have a look at the bodywork on the line. You generally can get away with assault on the line. The umpire's so reluctant to call anything in that scenario. We'll have a look at the replay. Cox Goodyear, he just had the journey. Theo Ives just dragging back Ben Donnelly. You asked the question, but yeah, it seems to be the one area of the field where you can do that. They're pretty consistent with it. But a badly needed goal, and it's their talisman who delivers. Bradley Cox Goodyear. Coach's goal there to lift his side. They needed it. Back within 21. Tompkinson won it down. Sulzberger works it forward. Pearce goes off the deck. Dangerous ball. Ives couldn't quite bring it down. Donnelly between his feet. Burrowing in after it there is Mansell. And the umpire says, I'll have it. So a couple of quick moves inside 50. The Bombers here as they look to respond to going down by 27. Here's Simpson on the run. Couldn't shrug the attentions of Clifford, who got him. Advantage waved on, and here's Gadomski charging through the heart of the ground. Sends it the College direction. Couldn't quite complete the mark. Spinning through Williams. College gave over the football. Zeitzen, now Gardner. Bandham has him. He goes back. Pearce crashing through. Couldn't take it cleanly. Gadomski goes back in again, and Pearce brings him to the ground.
So a ball up here at half forward for the Tigers. See, they look good as Gadomski ran through half forward. Quick rush kick by Clifford. Bouncing ball for Young. He can't gather. College pushes him off the ball and goes back and collects the footy. Got caught high. Umpire said, no, Tubes. Settle down. It'll be a ball up. Ball up, about 25 metres out from half forward. Lee wins it down. Sulzberger to Cox Goodyear. Cox Goodyear's kick is a good one, finding Ives. Ives gives it off to a running Bennett. Bennett's kick is a long beauty, and that's a big mark to Will Clifford. He's got a man on the far side all by himself in McCulloch. McCulloch looks up, and now a chance for Lockie Clifford. Sends a worm burner down towards That man is Cox Goodyear, can't get it away. Baker turns on a dime, puts Tompkinson into pressure. Then Baker again gets the handball, Reardon underneath it, goes the one-hander, and they're running it out now as Bennett.
Fletcher Bennett over the top to Mansell, down the outer wing. He's got Manshandon in space. Will Manshandon marks, just too far out to score, so he goes looking for Griffiths, spoiled away by Gadomski. Baker turns back to Gadomski. He clears the area and smashes it to the middle of the ground. Gardner worked underneath it by Vandam. Ball back in dispute. Gardner crashing through. Got it to Reardon. Sends them inside the forward 50 towards College. He couldn't quite trap it. Avent fires back to Mitchell and they sweep out behind by Young. They work their way through it, but they've turned it over to Eddie Cole, who chops it off and can go back and kick for goal. He's second of the afternoon. Eddie Cole, just when it seemed the danger had passed. Again, the execution by foot, letting them down, Tubes.
We've seen it all game so far. The Tigers, again, inside forward 50. Their pressure has been immense. Eddie Cole lining up.
So Cole, can he extend the lead to 27 points? He sets South home, it won't have the journey. He's tucked it towards the pocket, straight down the throat of Young. So I didn't quite catch that one right, Eddie Cole. And Young with the relieving mark. Chip short to Bales. He's got Vandam over the top. That's where he heads. Cox Goodyear running into space for him. But that option shut down. Cox Goodyear again ignored. So Vandam will go further down the line. Another great kick, and it just trickles out of play for a ball in front of the bench.
Does the Sharon need a little bit more air in it? Andrew Cooling, the kicking has been average at best from the Bombers. The Tigers don't seem to have a problem, although that last kick by Eddie Cole was putrid. Boundary throw in, just forward of centre for the Bombers. Tompkinson worked it down, looking for Clifford, punched away nicely by an attacking Bombers outfit. Good tackle laid on Ahern. Salzberger sends it up. Watch for the Lear riser around here. Can't quite gather the footy, and it's pushed across the line by Brewer for a boundary throw-in. The Lear riser.
The Lear riser. Don't mind it.
10 minutes clicking over in the third term of the TSL Grand Final. Tompkinson worked under it by Lee. Smart towards Pearce, but Gadomski got in the way, and he is tackled by Pearce. We'll see another ball up.
So 21 points the Tigers lead. The Bombers on the attack here. Tompkinson works Lee underneath it. Pearce with first use, got taken without the ball. Flipped out to Tompkinson. Sharp work from Baker there. Now that kick will just elude Gardner. And it trickles out of play ahead of Max College. As Eddie Cole comes off there for James Webb. Tigers in the ascendancy here, looking for a breakthrough premiership. Runners up last season, the Bombers with quite the rebound to return to the grand final day. One of the world's shortest rebuild efforts. Free kick going to go the way of Tompkinson there, is it? Or is it against the big fella?
I think it might be against Tompkinson. No, it'll go to Tompkinson.
Kind of hung his head initially, but he got the free kick, gave it to Lovell. Lovell chips it up towards Gardner, but had too much on it. Leaf Lang spilt one. Gardner goes back in, slapped on out of there. Campbell on the bottom of this one. And the umpire says, I'll have it.
Tompkinson coming off. What can you see down there, Bo Downham?
Yeah, it looks like a left knee just on first look. He's clutching at it right now, and he's in a bit of pain.
As the ball eludes all comers and pops across the line for a boundary throw-in. Thanks, Bo Downham, on the boundary side, giving us all the updates, what is happening on the interchange bench. A boundary throw-in, inside forward 50 for the Tigers. The Bombers have not managed a goal since the first term. They haven't really looked like it. Webb got it off nicely to Williams, and that one's smothered across the line for another boundary throw-in. 12 minutes gone. It was the Bradley Cox Goodyear goal late in the first term to put the Bombers up by 12 points. They haven't kicked one since.
Yeah, the Tigers have really seized control of proceedings here. The game on their terms. Lee slaps it down towards the boundary. Brewer interjecting and Pearce taken over by Cole. And midfield has been outstanding really since quarter time. The Tigers. Rocky Clifford and Cole, fantastic in the trenches. Can they take advantage while Tompkinson is off with an injury here? Can he get the better of Gardner? He wins this one down. Cole through Sulzberger's handball into space. Webb tracking it. Chug a hold of him. Now Sulzberger fires out a handball and driven down the line by Mansell. Up towards the contest. Donnelly juggling, couldn't complete the mark. And then out of play off Blake McCulloch. 21 points their lead. Midway point of the third quarter.
Can't understate the game of Ben Donnelly and Murray Bastick down back. They have been absolutely sensational.
They have indeed, as Ollington gets this clearance, sends it in the Leary direction. Had 2 to beat. It's a great mark. So McCulloch who's slid in there. There's Ambrose Brereton, in fact, super stuff. Juggle the mark, beat Leary. No easy task. The Tigers will take over.
Long kick from Brereton up to centre wing. This one will go off hands. Is that a mark to Van Dam? No, it's across the line for a boundary throw-in. Well umpired. So a ball in right on centre wing. 14 minutes ticking over here in the third term. It is the Tasmanian State League Grand Final. Lee won it down, trying to get a hold of it was Chug. He's wrapped up in a Clifford tackle, and we'll see a ball up. "14 minutes gone. That one I'll call a draw. Cox Goodyear kept running out the back for Cole. Got his handball away to Clifford. Clifford's wrapped up in the tackle by Ollington, and a ball up again. So stoppage, stoppage, stoppage here in the third term. Gardner won it down. Simpson been well held by Eddie Cole. He's done a great job on Ben Simpson today, Eddie Cole, and managing to get his own ball too, including the first goal of the game. Big Sausage got it out towards Webb. Diving on it was Simpson. There's Eddie Cole right in his pocket. Cox Goodyear inserting himself into the game. Another stoppage. So we've had a minute of stoppages here for the moment, Andrew Cooling. No real clear play as Brad Cox Goodyear pulls himself up off the ball.
Yeah, stodgy football. Gardner won that one down. Handball back to Clifford. Tries to fend off a Chug. Does shrug, but the handball wasn't a great one. Kept fighting on. Chug will go back in for this. Flicked it off, and now a chance on the run. Cox Goodyear sells some candy. Steadies and fires for home. Will this one bend back? It won't. He was looking for the drift he got on that set shot earlier. Well, this one held its line. And behind only for the Bombers, who need a goal here as it's chipped short for Donnelly. Baker calling for it down the line.
Here I was saying they haven't managed a goal since the first term, but Brad Cox Goodyear kicked one earlier in this term too.
I was going to let that slide, Chiefs, but you pulled yourself up.
Thanks for nothing. Thanks for, you got to keep me accountable, Drewy.
That'll be tossed up, attacking side of the wing for the Bombers. This one down. Chug stumbles as he tries to gather. Webb catching him a little high. Free kick will go the way of Chug. Usually a good user by foot. He looks up, plays on, and just sets it up into the middle of the 50. Couldn't find a marking target. Pearson Griffiths there. Reardon just got the handball away in time. Cox Goodyear again. Tries to shrug off Reardon. Just flung it out of there. And the umpire says throw it in.
How clean is Elijah Reardon when he goes near the footy?
Ridiculous. Never seen the man fumble.
So good. Boundary thrown right on the paint of 50. Inside the forward line for the Northern Bombers. We haven't seen Jack Tompkinson come back on. Big Sausage still running through the ruck. Cox Goodyear through traffic. He's so clever. Handballs over the top to Pearce. Dodges past one. Can Pearce get one? No. Through for another behind.
So Bradley Cox Goodyear is doing everything to try and lift his side here at the moment. He's playing a great quarter of footy. He's winning some hard ball. He's setting some chances up. Just needs a few more to go with him at the moment. As Reardon punches it short for Cole. So Cole retreats back across the face of goals. An option screaming out for it in Clifford, that's where he heads. So they're just chipping the ball around the back half. Now Reardon with a chance to dash off half back. He fires a bullet of a pass to College, couldn't take it cleanly. Van Dam in there. Leaflang now scrapping with Zeitzen. Cleverly towed forward there by Zeitzen. Now Lovell applying some pressure, but Van Dam takes it away. Got it to Cox Goodyear. Fired the handball over the top for Ives. Theo Ives looked for the support, wasn't coming. Eventually went back to Chug. Chug off a standing step, just delivers it in the forward 50. Reardon and Sulzberger fell to Harvey Griffiths, snapping it, bending it back. Shandon fumbles it over the line. And the chance goes begging for the Bombers.
Well, he had to try and gather that ball, did Shandon. Who knows where it was going to bounce? He had to put fingers on the ball. Some might say, was that going to land safely inside the goal? Here's a chance now. Bending it round. Donnelly on the last line of defence. It was a good kick from Griffiths. Donnelly goes out wider still. Finding Clifford. Clifford short kick. Over the head of his teammate. Simpson going back. He's got company with Brereton. Handball came over the top. Wheeling around was Hubbard. Hubbard can't get it past Clifford. He's been pretty good, Will Clifford. He's at half back. 19 minutes ticking over. Long kick down the line. Big fly from behind. Through with pace. Might have been tripped. Yes, he was. Bales.
So Harry Bales will take over. The Bombers having a good little spell here, but they need to find a goal to show for it. Still 18 points in arrears. Bales sends it long. Ahern will fly. Couldn't quite bring it down. Spills in the Pierce direction. He paddles it. Reardon trying to interject. Now Clifford following it up. Was he taken without it? Crowd certainly thinks so, and the umpire agrees. So that will relieve the pressure. He's having a great quarter, Will Clifford, doing some really nice stuff behind the ball. Both Cliffords, in fact, really running hot right now.
Bo Downham, we got an update with what's going on with Jack Tompkinson at all?
Yeah, he's just getting strapped up at the moment. I reckon we'll see him back on tubes and Drew. He's getting his knee, looks like his left knee heavily strapped.
Okay, as now it comes out for Lockie Clifford. Not a lot to kick to, it's all one-on-ones down the line. He goes in that direction anyway. Baker at the back, can't gather. O'Neill gathered by a couple of Bombers. And we'll see a ball up. Gardner. Nice ruck work by Theo Ives. Couple of Bombers. The Tigers do battle, but it's a stoppage again.
Gardner and Ives. Ives reaches over the top. Spills out in the direction of Clifford. Sulzberger applying the pressure. Clifford steadies. Stops, props, goes back to Eddie Cole. Cole goes for Carter, spoiled away from him. O'Neill buffeted off it. Went back and thought better of it. Decided I'll just take it across the line and we'll set up. So he's had a nice afternoon, George O'Neill. Saw Jake Williams doing some real damage in the qualifying final. It's been O'Neill in that similar type of vein this afternoon. It'll be tossed back into play. An 18-point lead for the Tigers.
Ball
College doing the ruck work. Sorry, Tubes, as Webb fired it off to Lovell. And Lovell for his third of the afternoon. Absolutely nails it. And it's the Tigers by 24 points in red time in quarter number 3.
Well called, Drewy. Nicely done. Outstanding stuff from the champ. Sagging off the back there, Kieran Lovell. Sends it home. And the champ from Kingston absolutely loves it.
What a luxury to be able to play this man forward. You've got the likes of Clifford and Cole, Webb in and under in the midfield brigade, which just gives you the luxury of being able to roll Kieran Lovell 40. He's come into this game under an injury cloud. We don't think he's 100% fit. He's kicked 3 goals and he has been pure silk.
He's kicked 3 goals, 2 of them in this term, and they don't call it the premiership term for nothing. Let's see what happens Tompkinson's pacing up and down the sideline here. Couple of pickle juices into him. I think it's a luxury to have someone like Marcus Gardner too on the sidelines ready to go into a ruck position when needed. Baker gives away the free kick to Chug. On a long lead is Griffiths, he's ignored. And there is a mark taken by Brereton. Brereton's kick is coming straight back though, perhaps with some interest as it's marked there by Bennett. Bennett plays on quickly. Bastick happy to see it across the line for a ball in. 23 minutes ticking over here in the third term. It's a 24-point margin in favour of the Tigers. What have the Bombers got? Ball in. Lee won that one. Off the ground by Clifford. Is this going to be deliberate? Insufficient attempt, perhaps? Umpire says ball in. I can tell you this. In the AFL, that 100% would have been insufficient attempt. They'd have called that one, the umpires. Don't worry about that. Ball in. Just forward of centre for the Bombers. They need a goal. They need someone to step up. Gardner won it down. Salzberger got his handball away to Avent. Avent's kick is a real high up and under. Punched away nicely. Cox Goodyear shrugs past one. Can't get past Godomski. Nicely done, Lockie Godomski. He's been good. 24 minutes gone.
Late in the third term here. It's the Tigers firmly in the ascendancy. The 2023 TSL Grand Final, North Hobart Oval. Gardner won it down, just spiked forward by Simpson. Trying to go the Baker, got collected by Pearce. He got taken high and will throw to the boundary. An update by Downham.
Yeah, guys, Jack Tompkinson back on, and Will Campbell's just got his right hand strapped up. So both of those guys coming on shortly.
So good news for the Tigers faithful. Big Jack Tompkinson right to go again.
He's gone straight to full forward, Drewy.
Might be slightly limited mobility perhaps, but he's still a big unit who can occupy a defender.
Well, he's very much heavily favouring that left leg.
So still a concern, but he's back out there.
Sent a report.
A report has been issued there for Pearce. Collecting Baker high. The Bombers faithful trying to make some noise to get the side back into this one, but right now the Tigers firmly in control as Baker will launch this one up the wing. Flying high, unable to take the marks. Built the way of Sulzberger. He was slung off at Cox Goodyear. Flicked it backwards to Leaflang. Clean bowled him. Retreating Cox Goodyear. He'll now square it looking for Simpson. Simpson takes the mark. Turns sharply inside onto his right. Nice kick there as they look to build through the middle. And Sulzberger held up by O'Neill. Back to Simpson. Simpson heads wide. He had a spare man in a little bit of space and used him. It's a good kick to Avent. Avent now, Leary leading up at him, hits him. He takes the mark, juggling, but he's a long way from home. He's one of the best set shots in the competition, Brandon Leary, but this would test him. He'll have to kick from outside 50. He doesn't look confident. He's got Sulzberger in the middle of the 50 screaming for it. He plays on, and in the end just puts it out on the full. And not what he was after. As we tick towards three-quarter time, as we have another look at that Leary mark. Would have been in the back if not a mark, I think. Did well to juggle it. The kick, not quite as good, Tubestaler.
Elijah Reardon to take the kick from full back. Gee, how's that kick at 65-metre punt? Unfortunately, it's landed in the arms of Bennett, but it'll be a free kick going to his teammate, Leaflang, for a push in the back. Leaflang's kick is smothered. Got the numbers. Gets it back, does Leaflang off Lockie Mitchell. Long kick inside forward 50. Griffiths flew high and the umpire circles and will ball it up. 27 minutes gone. The Tigers have got to be happy with their last two quarters. They've kicked 4 goals in the second term, now 3 versus 1. 7 goals to 1 since quarter time have the Bombers. Salzburger trying to get his team going. Clifford, Cole rather, got it up to Lovell. Cole went back and got it, got wrapped up by Pearce. We'll see a ball up.
So late here in the third term. Is there time enough for another goal? The Bombers in dire need of one. Lee won it down, trying to find Ollington over the shoulder of the Cole, and it's going the way of the Tigers. A free kick to McCulloch. We'll just steady things down here. Be happy to run some seconds off the clock. McCulloch heads along the outer side, goes looking for Gardner, spiked away by Ives. Chipped forward down the wing into space. It might just trickle out of play. Good result for the Tigers as it rolls out ahead of Bennett. They're throwing on centre wing.
They've had contributors across the board, have the Tigers. Hence why they've got a 24-point lead late in the third term. As the ball come in front of the George Miller stand. Lee and Gardner. One down by Gardner. Cole got the handball over the top. O'Neill up towards Golding. Golding bends one back into a dangerous spot. Here's a chance now for Williams. Bending one towards goal. No.
He kicked a couple in the qualifying final, did Jake Williams, in that electric third quarter.
Handy point.
Not quite as electric today, but they've still had a very good quarter, and they're going to make things very tough for the Bombers from here. They move it quickly, but straight down the throat to Murray Bastick. He's had an outstanding game back there. And that will be three-quarter time. Murray Bastick tells the umpire, I'm going to back myself for a shot from 80 metres, which seems a little unlikely, but, well, he just cleared the 50-metre arc, so that is all she wrote for quarter number 3. The Tigers extend their lead. They have one hand on the Premiership Trophy, 8-7-55, leading the Bombers 4-6-30. It is going to take something remarkable here from the Bombers, Stu.
Certainly will. Kieran Lovell's got 3. Then we've got singles for Lockie Clifford, Eddie Cole, Nick Baker, Jack Tompkinson and Tyler Carter. And for the Bombers, it's 2 to Bradley Cox-Goodyear, 1 to Blade Salzburger and 1 to Harvey Griffiths. Can the Bombers get back from here, Andrew Cooling?
Well, it seems unlikely. They're going to really have to lift around the ball. We said pre-game that the Tigers' strength was really in the midfield group. They were probably beaten in quarter number 1, and that's why the North Launceston side were able to get that 3 goals to 1 lead. Since then, it's been outstanding from the Tigers on ball brigade. I think Lockie Clifford has been brilliant. Eddie Cole's done a really good job, and perhaps biggest of all, they've negated the influence of Ben Simpson, who is such a match winner for the Bombers. He's just not had his normal impact on the game.
And I think that's why Eddie Cole needs to be applauded for that role that he's clearly playing, and he's getting plenty of the footy himself. I think their backline of the Tigers has been sensational too. Led by Murray Bastick, Ben Donnelly. I just think, and let's not forget O'Neill, George O'Neill too, who's been sensational. You can see Kieran Lovell on screen, just firing up his teammates, trying to get them across the line for their very first premiership at the Kingborough Tigers. We're going to take a quick break. Actually, we're going to look at highlights from the third term. Let's take a look. This was the goal that was chopped off by Lockie Clifford.
Just a gift to start, really.
Yeah.
Turned over, kick out of fullback. Not the start you needed for the Bombers. And then a minute later, Kieran Lovell shows his class, snaps around the corner. He's second of the afternoon. 2 goals in the opening 3 quarters for the 3 minutes of the quarter for the Tigers.
He also kicked a beauty. Brad Cox-Goodyear made a fool of me by kicking that goal there. Maybe a hold off the ball, but the umpire didn't think so. And it was a goal. Brad Cox-Goodyear doing everything he can to try and get his beloved Bombers back into this game. And then, how good was this from Kieran Lovell? Out the back, and the finish too. Sensational. The Kingborough Tigers, 8-7-55, lead North Launceston 4-6-30. Oh, and then this mark from Leary. That was a highlight in itself from the Leariser. It's a 25-point margin in favour of the Kingborough Tigers. Do not go anywhere. This game is still open for everyone. We'll take a quick break and be right back with the final term of the Cripps Tasmanian State League Grand Final live from North Hobart Oval.
Say it loudly and proudly. Tasmania!
Hello Saws and Mowers is a family-run business. It was started well over 30 years ago. It was originally a saw shop. It has evolved into a mower shop. We have the expertise of the staff with my background in turf.
We are the statewide distributors of Toro. It is the world-leading turf company. So if you love to spend time in your backyard and you love to make your lawn looking like a bowling green, come and see us.
Hi, I'm Ray Chamberlain, and here are the top reasons why you should become an AFL umpire. You love intellectual conversations.
I know you're not. No, I said and you said no.
Everybody knows you need help with your anger management issues.
We don't talk to one another like that. It's okay.
You just can't keep up with the young ones any longer.
He's run down.
Because you like to get paid to keep fit.
Blow your whistle, show your decision, show your good strong signals, then get on your bike and go.
It's the best game in the world.
Well, the final term of the Cripps Tasmanian State League Grand Final about to get underway. Let's cross down to Bo Dunham, out the boundary side. Bo, what's the messages from the coaches at three-quarter time? Can't hear you, Bo.
Brad Cox Goodyear is still saying believe, 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 and it's definitely not out of balance for him just yet. The main message just was keep going and play to the final siren.
What do you think, Andrew Cooling?
Well, they'll be looking to tap into last week's final quarter against Clarence. They were on the ropes there, a bit closer on the scoreboard, but they came out, scored 5 goals to none in the last quarter, played the best quarter of the match. They ran over the top of them. They're going to need a massive effort today because they're just being roundly beaten in midfield. But look, this is a side, they've struggled to score goals today, but we know they've got firepower, they've got goal kickers. They've just got to open it up, take some risk, go through the corridor, be daring, risk losing this by 40 points to try and win it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. They're certainly not out of it. We know they're a champion club. They're a champion team, and there's a champion human being on screen right now. Can the Bombers get it done? They won't die wondering, the North Launceston Bombers. They trail by just 25 points with at least 25 minutes worth of footy to go.
First goal, absolutely crucial here, Chips. Tigers get it. It's an absolute mountain to climb.
People just getting off the ground here as the umpires hold the ball aloft. And we're away.
Ready to go in the final quarter of the 2023 season. Will the Tigers finish the job, or can the Bombers produce a miracle? We'll go again. The umpire not happy with that bounce. So I'll toss up once more. The Bombers need first blood here. Lee spikes it over the top. Decisive hit out that. Whacked forward looking for Avent, but one back there by the Tigers. Clifford kick charge down by Cox Goodyear. Back to Cox Goodyear. He's brought down by 2 Tigers. Cole and Baker all over him. You've had no time or space in the engine room all afternoon here. The tackling pressure the Tigers has been particularly frenetic. Lee wins this one down. Gathered by Avent. Dips back inside, got round 1, couldn't get round Golding, holding the footy. Eddie Golding sticks a big tackle.
Golding from centre half back, looks up, he's got a long lead from Zeitzen. Carter comes for him too, he goes towards Zeitzen. And that's a strong mark from Van Dam, who's had a pretty good game. Van Dam goes short, arriving late, was that man in Golding. Cox Goodyear had Baker caught cold. And then he jumps on him and says, how about a free kick? And the umpire says, I don't think so, Brad. We're going to ball it up. A ball up at half forward for the Bombers. They desperately need a goal now. Out it comes. Bouncing ball inside forward 50. Clifford, rather, Reardon off the...
Right, I think we are back. Apologies there, our audio just cut out. Seems like the connection is restored, so we're good to go. As the ball is tossed back into play towards Simpson. He'll be held up. There'll be a ball up again inside the forward 50. Apologies for that brief break in commentary there.
To be honest, I think people needed a spell from you and I. We've given them enough.
As Lee wins it down, looking for Cox Goodyear, but Baker first to the footy. Campbell in there, trying to bust onto O'Leary. Umpire spotted something, and it's going to be a free kick to Bradley Cox Goodyear. So, an opportunity here for the Bombers player coach, their star man, to kick the first goal of the last quarter and just give his side a glimmer of hope.
Well, I don't want to say this is what they needed, but this is what they needed.
Can BCG deliver in another big moment? He'll kick from 40 out, directly in front. It's bending back, it's there. Cox Goodyear cuts the margin to 19, and the crucial first goal of the final term goes the way of the Bombers. Still a handy lead for the Tigers, but could that be the spark for the Bombers?
Genuine belief here from the Northern Bombers. And if there's a side that was ever going to come back from 25 points down at three-quarter time, it is this club. Bradley Cox Goodyear, a little bit of bend on it. And the margin back to 19. 8-7-55, the Tigers lead the Bombers. 5-6-36, we're back in the middle.
Back to the middle it goes. Lee smashes it clear. Campbell onto it. Hobart over the top of him. Simpson trying to shrug free. Bastick who's got him with a great tackle there. Murray Bastick been fantastic today. Stuck that tackle there as Simpson looked to get free. Lee grappling, then just volleys it out of the air to Campbell. Hobart couldn't complete the tackle. Webb with Cox Goodyear all over him. He paddles it forward here. Webb just keeps the ball in motion. They both lost their footing, and in the end it trickles out of play. And it'll be tossed in, attacking side of the wing for the Tigers.
Here come the Bombers. Can they get the next one to really make it interesting? Ball in at centre wing. Lee versus Gardner. Gardner works it back through the fingertips of Brewer. Chasing the footy. Hubbard gathers, kicks towards Griffiths. Donnelly does battle through with pace. Here's a chance. Williams.
Oh, tripped him. Stuck a leg out and tripped him.
Yeah, can't do that. So Williams sends the ball long. Inside forward 50. Carter at the bottom of the pack running through with pace. That is sensational stuff from Avent. But Gadomski should have gobbled that up. Pearce off the ground. Campbell's going to get there first. Oh, the ball just sits up and gives Griffiths a chance, and he forces it across the line. That's a win for the Bombers.
And they need a lift out of Harvey Griffiths. He was electric in quarter number one. He's gone out of the game a bit since then. We know he can be a match winner. Kicked over 30 goals this year. He give them a lift here. Another one would make things very interesting. Maybe invite some doubts into the Tigers. Lee, great ruck work to Cox Goodyear. Fine pass, couldn't take it cleanly. Paddle towards the line. Trying to shrug off Sulzberger. He couldn't do so. And the umpire has not paid it.
In the first term, that was gone for all money.
Lucky boy, Joey Brewer, the fend off. Tackle was stuck, not rewarded. Gardner and Lee. Lee won it down to Avent. Over the shoulder, the call. Both rucks look at the umpire going which way. Looks like it'll go to Lee. So perhaps the square up there, an opportunity for Lee to move the Bombers inside the forward 50. The Tigers flood back. The Lees present themselves. Ives working hard. Leaflang's been swung forward. Did that last week and it worked to great effect. They head in his direction here. Reardon with the fly. And it's spoiled out of play for a ball in.
So ball in deep inside forward 50 for the Bombers. What can their stars do here? Watch for Bradley Cox Goodyear, who's sniffing about. Nathan Pearce as well. A couple of leaders around the footy. Avent arrives. Cox Goodyear gets some separation. Baker cops on high. And the umpire says, give it to me. I think I called it earlier. Watch for Leary around this area. Lee. Gadomski gathered by Pearce. Umpire will call the ball up. Gardner wins it down. Here's Cox Goodyear out of nowhere towards goal. It's been touched.
For a brief second there, thought he'd done it again, Cox Goodyear. He is putting in a phenomenal effort for his side, just willing them back into this game as Reardon just opts to get some distance.
Oh dear.
But that wind has taken a hold of that and it's drifted a mile out of bounds on the full. It'll come right back at him.
What are the conditions like boundary side, Bo Downham?
Yeah, there's certainly a bit of wind down here, probably to that Gorringe stand end, facing to the right.
So Young will drive the Bombers deep inside 50. Reardon, the man in front marked it though. And it's Heath Ollington who brings it down. and will go back to cut the margin to an even 2 goals.
That is a sensational grab by Ollington. Reardon flew high. Had to go the fist earlier than that. And Ollington took a strong contested grab.
Big moment in this football game. Ollington from the angle. It's working back, but not enough. And a minor score only.
Margin back to within.
Off for the Tigers.
Within 3 goals, the margin is just 17 points. The Tigers with the work to do. A worm burner straight down the throat of Williams, who just holds things up momentarily. Not a lot of movement from his forwards. Big fly out the back. Bennett rushes one forward. Bouncing ball, a bit of a chaos one inside forward 50. Nicely handballed off towards Pearce. Tackled high there was Williams, but the umpire says no, we'll ball it up.
Tigers won't want to go too far into their shell here. They still need another goal, I reckon. If they try back and try and protect it from here, they're inviting danger.
Completely agree. Andrew Cooling.
The Rucks neither gets it level, scoops it to the outside, and the clearing kick will go into dispute. Zeitz in there. O'Neill got there first over the top. Tyler Carter on his own out the back. Max College will charge back towards goal. He goes instead for Tompkinson. And the big fella, who can barely stand on that left knee, slides in and takes the mark. But given the knee injury, this is far from a certainty.
I like this. He's owning the moment. Jack Tompkinson on one leg, like a pirate. Is he going to break out Big Bertha and send it through for a goal?
He has got cult hero written all over him, this man. Big Jack Tompkinson with a big kick in the 2023 decider to steady the Tigers ship and extend the lead to 23 points. He sends it on its way. It's working across the face. It's off hands through for a behind. He didn't catch it right. And a minor score only.
Margin back to 3 straight goals. Young brings the ball out from fullback, sending it long. Reardon's got a couple to beat. He got a fist in there and did really well to hold up Ahern. And we'll see a ball up. Ahern maybe got slung a little there. Umpire didn't think it was overly dangerous. Ball up. Lee wins it down. O'Neill, free kick's been pulled out. Where's this going to? It's going to Simpson. Simpson looks up. Long lead. Came from Mansell. And he decides to go across the face of goal. Zeitzen versus Mitchell. Mitchell did really well. Took a contested grab. Gets called to play on. That's a worm burner and only lands in the arms of his direct opponent, Blake McCulloch.
There's a poor kick from Mitchell. Too flat. McCulloch intercepts and he heads down the line. Plenty of big men converging. Bennett flew from behind, but Carter just propped in front, stood his ground, extended the jukes. Couple of big marks here this quarter for Carter. Short to Clifford. He's been outstanding, Lockie Clifford. He sends this one wide, sets a task for Brereton, but he was equal to it. Ambrose Brereton. It's a crowded forward 50 ahead of him. He sends it in there. Plenty of bombers back there. Can't mark it cleanly, though. And spilt back. Lovell. He's kicked 3. He goes back to Gardner. Gardner to Baker. Baker shrugs free. Little handball almost finding a way through there for Golding. Couldn't take it cleanly. Reardon gets Bennett to the ground. Just got boot to ball. O'Neill now pressuring Leary. Leary brings it under his spell. He gets his kick away. Up to a contested half forward. Manshannon flies in and takes a great mark.
Manshannon off half back, looks to change direction. Dangerous kick, ended up okay for Simpson. Simpson looks up, no one really moving for him, so he decides to go long to send half forward. Who's going to get there? That's a strong mark. It's Ollington. If he wheels around, he's got a man deep, and he goes in that way. Chug couldn't take the mark. Well done, Godomski. Wheeling around. Pearce, kick smothered. Well done, Tigers defence. Trapped without the footy. Sensational stuff, Kieran Lovell. Saved an almost certain goal. and holds the ball up for the Tigers.
What an enormous play from Kieran Lovell to get the hands up and smother that one. Both ends of the ground, this man's making an impact. That kick not quite so good. Again, the wind just catching it. Drifts it out of bounds. Cox Goodyear can pump the Bombers back inside the forward 50 here. Just over halfway into the last quarter, 18 points the lead. Cox Goodyear swings in. Griffiths lurking behind. Spilt to him. Griffiths handed it off to Ollington. Ollington snaps it out of bounds on the fall. And the danger passes.
Gee, it's heart in your mouth type stuff here at North Hobart Oval for the 2023 Tasmanian State League Grand Final. He's got to do a bit of work here. Ambrose Brereton to get the footy.
Zeitzon's trying to draw Mitchell, who's the spare behind the ball, trying to drag him back to defensive 50 here.
Long kick. Gardner, almost the mark. Trapped is Clifford. We'll see a ball up. That was almost a clutch contested grab to Marcus Gardner. Lee tries hard. Handball came out the back. Clifford gets it forward, sitting underneath the ball. Nice work, Zeitzon got a hold of it to Carter, who sells candy, got trapped, and that's a great tackle by Avent. Tried to do a bit too much there, Tyler Carter. Avent. Now Mitchell gives it off to a running Bales. Bales sends the ball long, deep inside forward 50. Who's at home? No one. Gardner got himself into trouble. Godomski clears a kick, but it's a kick in hope. Reardon does well. Donnelling's happy to see it across the line for the Cavalry to arrive. It's an even 3-goal match. Kingborough 8-8-56 lead North Launceston 5-8-38.
Big forward stoppage here. We've travelled 17 minutes in the final term. Bombers need to be just about perfect from here. Lee and Gardner. Gardner won it over the top. It'll be first use Bombers through traffic. Snapshots across the face. Donnelly's parked back there. It'll be a behind. Could be a handy point. A little early for that, but it cuts the lead to 17. Ben Donnelly will slow things down from fullback. He spears it to Reardon, a good man to find in space. Elijah Reardon, usually able to get plenty of distance on his kicks. Eddie Cole wants the switch. It's a risky option. Oh, Leary spoiled it. Leary a chance. Pearce. Oh, he missed Cox Goodyear with the handball from 2 metres away. Big error there. Leary back in for it. Couldn't get it. And the Tigers clear the area. Brereton flying. Couldn't take the mark. Chug parked himself in front. Took a good grab. He'll drive them back inside again. He's looking for Griffiths. Worked underneath it. No one can take it cleanly. Baker, he's tackled and sent to the deck. And the umpire will call for it.
Gee, I tell you what, some critical skill errors here from both sides. The pressure just building. 18 minutes gone in the fourth term of the final game for the TSL season of 2023. Lee wins it down. Salzburger can't quite clear and kick. Clifford going back towards Chug. Bouncing ball now. Bales gets wrapped up by Brewer. Got his handball away. High tackle. Umpire saw it. Free kick going to Chug. Chug looks up. He's got a short lead on from Salzburger. Players in the way. Now Chug decides to play on. Long kick deep inside forward 50. Who's at home for the Bombers? 1, 2, 3 grabs. Marcus Gardner said it was mine. Out it comes. Reeled around. Cox Goodyear towards goal. Through for a behind. They're not dying wondering, are they?
They're dialing up the pressure. They're throwing the kitchen sink at them here. The Tigers defence holding up. They've been bold. They've taken risks. They've gone through the corridor as they must. They're giving themselves a chance, but the Tigers holding on. Reardon wobbles one out towards the wing, and it trickles over for a ball in. We're ticking towards stoppage time now. They need 3 goals. They've only kicked 5 for the afternoon. It would be a monumental effort from here. They need one imminently to be any chance you'd imagine. Back into play. Gardner has battled well since Tompkinson went down. Handball from Chug to Avent. Couldn't take it cleanly. Avent lost it to Campbell. Back in Chug. Handball to Lee. Lee doesn't have a lot of support. Had to hold up went back inside to Avents. Cole got a hold of him. Baker crashing through, and a free kick is paid for the Tigers. Cox Goodyear not happy, but it'll enable them to run a bit more clock.
That was a sensational tackle from Cole. It was brilliant on Avent. Held on, and then Baker drew the free kick. Sends one long, inside forward 50. Through a lot of fingertips out the back. The Bombers look through Mitchell. Now in trouble was Theo Ives, and the umpire will ball it up. Edge of your seat type stuff. Do not go anywhere. It's a 16-point margin in favour of the Tigers, but the Tigers haven't looked like scoring. Simpson got his kick away. Webb trying hard. Gardner over the footy. Rolling ball out the back for the Bombers. Bale's trying his best. Can't get near it. Umpire will ball it up.
Another goal would surely ice it for the Tigers here. They're almost there. It's at the right end of the field as far as they're concerned. Lee slapped it back inside to Simpson. Simpson drew a man, missed Cox Goodyear with the handball, but he recovered it. Bradley Cox Goodyear has Young in some space, heads there. Pressure came from Murray Bastick. He's played an outstanding game in defence, Bastick. Shows some composure there and chips to Brewer. It wasn't 15 though. He's caught, just escapes the clutches of Mansell, but the umpire's pinged him anyway. And a chance for the Bombers to send it forward. Mansell will take the free kick 55 from home. Can he find a marking target? Plenty of bodies flooding back for the Tigers. Now is the time for the Bombers. They must strike, and they must strike now. And he kicks it straight down the throat of Lockie Clifford.
Clifford goes across the face of goal, finds Marcus Gardner looking up the wing, not a lot to kick to. The Bombers have set up well behind the ball. Short kick is on, just to Lockie Clifford. Went okay. Now the long kick down towards Tyler Carter. Carter uses the body well, had his jumper pulled. Umpire said no. Ball it in. Boundary throw in. 22 minutes ticks over here in the final term of the TSL Grand Final. The final term of the TSL season. Who wants it more? Is it the Bombers or the Tigers? Gardner and Lee. One down by Gardner. Now Webb just left it behind. Simpson gets it off to Cox Goodyear. Ran into his teammate. Got another handball up. Mitchell, handballs over the top. Who's at home? Will Campbell caught one high. Umpire saw it, was looking directly at him and said, "You ducked, Will." It's a ball up. I thought it was a ball up. I thought it was either holding the ball or a high tackle, but the umpire was in the right place at the right time.
A bit like last night, put the whistle away in the final 10 minutes here, as this one's found Manshandon, who released Simpson. Simpson surging through the middle, found Chug. Chug runs into Soupy Campbell. He's surely gone, holding the footy. Soupy Campbell stops Chug in his tracks, and he might have stopped the Bombers' charge. 3 goals, they've not got long to do it. The Tigers have almost got this one. Campbell sends it wide, looking for Gardner. The spoil came from Mitchell. Bennett just tracked it down, but he couldn't keep a hold of it. And the Tigers faithful in fine voice, they think they've got it done.
23.5 minutes gone in the final term. The Tigers in front by 16 points. The Bombers are coming though. Do not go anywhere. Lee wins it down. Lovell, clever. Webb got it off. Cole sends the ball inside forward 50. Rolling ball will beat all comers. Out of bounds.
Well, the Tigers coaching box is next to us, and they have access to the actual game clock, and they look like a group that knows they've got this. They're getting ready to celebrate, Tubes. There can't be long left. The Tigers have almost done it. They're up by 16 points. It's at the right end of the field for them. Tompkinson to do the ruck work. Lee won it down to Webb. Manshandon. Webb applying pressure. Manshandon got it away. Avent now, they've got to go. He swings it across to Cox Goodyear. Has a bounce as the star veteran. Handed it off there to Wallington. Wallington has Young in acres of space. Young from 45 sets sail for home. And with that, the door might be slammed shut.
Through for a behind. North Launceston trail by 15 points, 5-11-41. They've had their opportunities. Bringing the ball out, long kick. Came out from Will Clifford. Bouncing ball here. Baker across the line, ball in.
Tossed back into play. The siren can't be too far away. Here's Baker. Sends it down the line. Mitchell spoils away from Zeitzen. Fletcher Bennett can't bring it under his spell, and it trickles across the line. But we've gone 25 and a half. There's surely not time left now. The Tigers are going to do it. What a battle it's been.
Just the one goal. There's been quite a few stoppages, but we know there's not long now. The media scrum is huddling around the Kingborough Tigers bench. It will be their first TSL premiership, heading down the outlet. Punched away nicely by Baker. Out the rolls, come back for man Shandon. He goes across the face of goal, looking for a teammate. It's Oscar Van Dam, who's going to gather the ball and send it inside forward 50. Leary will fly, big fly by Griffiths. Bastic has been good. Tap forward again. Now a chance off the ground by Chug. Chug can't beat Clifford, and Clifford's happy to see it across the line. Ball in.
15 points the margin in the dying embers here at North Hobart Oval. The TSL Grand Final back at North Hobart after a long absence. And the Tigers on the precipice of victory here. Lee won it down. Cox Goodyear handed it off to Avent. Avent was looking for Leary. Handball there from... found its way to Avent, just eluded Reardon. His kick, though, chopped off by Brewer, sent to the neck by Cox Goodyear. As precious seconds continue to tick by. The runner goes out, undoubtedly to tell them just how long is left. Can't be long. Lee and Gardner slapped down. No one can take clean possession. There it is! It's the year of the Tiger. The Kingborough Tigers break through for the premiership. They were the best team all year. It was a mighty battle on the day. It was a mighty battle between these two all season long. But as it was in the regular season, it's the Tigers who come out on top.
Absolutely sensational for this club. Their first premiership ever. Let's listen to the song. The Tigers 8-8-56 defeat the Northern Bombers 5-11-41, a 15-point margin in the end. 3 goals to Kieran Lovell, proving pivotal. Then singles to Lockie Clifford, Eddie Cole, Jack Tompkinson and Tyler Carter. And for the North Launceston Bombers, Brad Cox Goodyear had 3, Blade Salzberger with 1 and Harvey Griffiths with 1. It was the first quarter that they blew them out of the water, the Bombers, but then the second and third, it was Tigers, 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 and they run out victorious by 15 points.
Yeah, 3 goals to 1 after 25 minutes of the first quarter. They'd only go on to get 2 more goals for the rest of the afternoon. The Bombers, they started sharp. You always sense that if the Tigers could just even it up around the contest, that they'd be able to work their way back in. That's just what they did. They got on top in the midfield, and from there, they never looked back. Some great contributors in that midfield group. Clifford, Cole, outstanding. Webb did his part. Kieran Lovell with sheer class in the forward half. They've kicked 8 goals. He managed 3 of them. They weren't regulation chances either. The sheer class he offered there, perhaps the difference. The Bombers, well, it's been a great season from them. They've exceeded expectations. It's been a lightning-fast rebuild for this great football club, but ultimately outplayed here this afternoon by the Kingborough Tigers, worthy premiers in 2023. Finished on top at the end of the season. It came down to a few percentage points. Got them the home final week 1. A devastating burst in the third term. Booked the home final here at North Hobart. And today, a game that the Bombers jumped out of the blocks sharply in. The Tigers just had a little too much about them and fully deserved their win. It was an entertaining game. It was a physical battle. It was one laden with stoppages. It was stodgy at times. But at the end of the day, the Tigers walk away 15-point winners. They had built enough of a lead, and they were able to sit on it in the final term as North Launceston peppered the inside 50. They launched the ball forward time and time again, but the Tigers' defence really stood up, stood tall under pressure, and delivered them their Premiership Cup in this penultimate season of TSL football. A massive win for the Tigers. Joyous scenes on the ground there. Runners-up 12 months ago. A heartbreaker a year ago. 12 months later, smiles all across their faces. They learnt from last season. They built from it. They brought a couple of players in. And Trent Warmlow and his men have achieved the dream here this afternoon. We've got Tubes Taylor down there and amongst it, trying to find a player. We'll have an interview shortly.
Yeah, I've got George O'Neill down here right now. George, what does that mean to you, mate?
Oh, it's unreal. Great feeling. Like, the boys committed all year and it paid off. And like, to do it with best blokes ever, like, this will last forever, I reckon.
Absolutely, mate. I thought your game, in particularly the second and third term, was sensational, mate. What did you put it down to, that victory? That the Bombers kept coming at you.
Yeah, they did, and I think we just stuck to what we know, process. Just didn't lose our heads and played our game right. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Kieran Lovell, sensational too, with 3 goals. What have you got to say about him?
He's unreal. Like, great player. Loves to find the footy. Like, yeah, I think I'm done. I'll get back celebrating, I reckon.
Yeah, good on you, George O'Neill there. Not much to say from the young star. Let's go and try and find a few others in here. Nick Baker's over there as well, celebrating. See if we can find Ben Donnelly, maybe Sausage. Here's Kieran Lovell. I'll go and grab him. Tyler Carter. I've got Tyler Carter here. Big Tyler, no, that's fine, Tyler. You've got a lot of lip when it comes to keyboard warrior stuff. What does that mean to you, Tyler?
It's hard to put into words, and I've got a lot of words out on the footy field, that's for sure, but you've got me on the spot here. But yeah, it's amazing. A lot of hard work's gone into it, and yeah, 10 years in the making, and waiting for this moment, and we'll cherish it forever.
Kieran Lovell was sensational with 3 goals. I thought your backline, Murray Bastick, stood up as well. But you say you've been building this for 10 years. What does it mean to the Kingborough Tigers to win their first premiership?
Yeah, as I said, absolutely. Everything we've worked hard for this. This has been our main goal for the last 7 or 8 years since we've established ourselves a bit. And yeah, it's awesome.
What's going on with the shorts, mate? They reckon they're 2 or 3 sizes too big.
Yeah, well, I actually wore some the other week and they were a medium, so I had to go a bit bigger this time because the mediums didn't look too good, that's for sure.
Premiership player, Tyler Carter, congratulations.
Thanks, Jeeves.
There we go, Tyler Carter, one of the greats. Let's see if I can try and find the coach, Trent Warmlow, as we go through. Getting involved here. James Seitzon's there. Might try and grab Eddie Cole. He's been sensational. I got Eddie Cole. Eddie, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it means everything. I mean, that's why I play footy as a kid growing up. Probably doesn't really feel real yet, but we've got a pretty special group, so it's going to be a pretty emotional couple of days, but yeah.
Did you have a job on Ben Simpson today?
Oh, it's sort of been my thing all week. It's pretty funny that he's been calling me a tagger when I've been beating him, so that was sort of my little chip on my shoulder, I guess, but yeah, I think it was a great battle from them. They're a great side, so it's a good win.
Sensational stuff. Elijah Reardon off half-back, Murray Bastick, your backline's been sensational all year.
Yeah.
Ben Donnelly, Team of the Year. What does this mean to the Kingborough Tigers?
Oh, it's everything. The boys have obviously been at the bottom and now we're at the top, so we've got to keep that there. You know, we want to be a successful club for years to come. So that back six, as you said, and our whole team, we just trust everyone all the time. So yeah, it's pretty special.
Well, you're a premiership player now, Eddie. Congratulations.
Thanks,
and all
mate.
the best. What happens tonight?
What happens tonight? Oh, I'd hate to think, to be honest. Probably stay at the club for a few nights, so I have to go get a bag of clothes and yeah, just take it from there.
Well, there you go, Eddie Cole. Lockie Godomsky there as well. Might try and grab big Jack Tompkinson, who's being embraced. Jack, Joey's his old man, that's fine. He loves his old man. Jack Tompkinson, what does that mean to you, Big Jack?
It's why we play footy, isn't it? Fucking all shit. I just can't. It's what we play footy for. The boys, I haven't been here as long as a lot of them have, so I haven't been at the bottom, I guess, when they were struggling. But to come in at this time and experience this with the group, it's speechless. They've worked so hard. Credit to Trina. I think it 4 years into making him, trying to get me down here, and I couldn't thank him enough. It's all paid off, so I thank you.
I saw
my heart, Trina.
I saw you embrace the old man there before, mate. What does that mean to you and your family?
Oh, I'm just, yeah, like I said, that's why we play footy. Like, that's, you spend all year working hard and then to get the reward at the end, it's just, it's a credit to the group and everyone else and the community down there. It's awesome.
I'm sure it won't be the first mid-strength you have. Go and enjoy yourself.
No.
Well done. Jack Tompkinson,
Thank
premiership
you very
player.
much, thank you very much.
There we go. There's plenty of people around the place. I can't interview you, young fellow. I think we've got to cross over to Brent Costello in a moment for the presentations. Copping it from everywhere here. Drewy, everyone's getting around me. I don't know whether they're lipping off at me or not, but it's been a huge day. The Tigers have run out premiership victors, 8-8-56 to 5-11-41, defeating the Northern Bombers. A sensational game. I'm not sure who you're picking for best on ground, Drewy.
Well, it's a pretty tough one, I reckon, Tubes. It's going to be a pretty tough job. I reckon you get pretty diverse votes from the judging panel. I think Eddie Cole, Lockie Clifford, outstanding in midfield. Kieran Love will have to be a chance with the 3 goals he kicks. Had they won, Bradley Cox-Goodyear would have been a shot, but probably not on a losing side. And some of the defenders, tougher defenders to get the recognition, but Murray Bastick was outstanding. I'm going to go with Kieran Lovell, though. I reckon he was sneaking to enough votes.
Eddie Cole will be up there too. We might cross down now to Brent Costello, the Master of Ceremonies, for the presentations.
It's now time for the presentation ceremony for the 2023 TSL Grand Final. Congratulations to this season's premiers, the Kingborough Tigers. Thanks once again to our premier partners, the AFL, Crips, the Tasmanian Government and Puma. We'll now commence the presentations with the umpires. Each umpire will be presented with their medal by AFL Tasmania Community Football Manager Tom Barwick. Starting with our field umpires, Tom McEntee, Nathan Geeson, Brad Percy, and emergency Mark Tuckett. On the boundary, Brendan Cook, Brendan Green, Riley Lee Heath, and Curtis Reid. And in goals, Bryce Guy, Will Robertson, and emergency Kyton Aitken. Big thanks to the umpires for the part they played in today's grand final. Well, despite another fantastic season, unfortunately it wasn't North Launceston's day today, but I'd like to invite their coach, Brad Cox-Goodger, to come forward to say a few words.
First of all, obviously, congratulations to Kingborough. You've had a long journey, and a lot of you guys have stuck fat with your football club, and you managed to get the reward, and it makes it all worthwhile when you stick fat when things aren't quite going your way. So congratulations. The next 3 days will probably be some of the best days of your life, so enjoy it and congratulations. To our boys, obviously, thank you. To our boys, it wasn't our day. We showed up and had a crack. That's all I can ask for. I'm super proud of all of you, and you know, we've only got a lot more growth to go in that group. And thanks for everyone coming to support. Hopefully you enjoyed the day. It was a good contest, and yeah, one more year of TSL footy, so let's make it the best one yet.
Thanks very much, Brad, and congratulations again to North Launceston on another outstanding TSL season. We'd like to invite forward now the captain of the TSL Premiers for 2023, Lockie Clifford, to say a few words.
Tripping over is not a good start. Look, firstly, just want to say thanks to North Lonnie. You've been a quality side over a number of years, and obviously didn't get the job done today, but you're a quality side, and I'm sure you'll be back next year. You've got a lot of young guys that are coming through, and hats off to Coxie and Simo for a great year. Secondly, I want to thank everyone for coming out. The Tiger Army's here in full force today, and it's a bloody good sight to see. Just want to thank the TSL for a great year. Hopefully we can try and continue it on for longer than next year, but that's not up to me. And lastly, to the boys that I run out with every week and the others that didn't play today and the rest of the club, I don't know what to say, but just, yeah, come on!
Well, Rocky, we'll see you back up here shortly, of course. Now to help present the Darryl Baldock Medal for Best on Ground, I'd like to invite Stephen Kazali Park, the grandson of the legendary Roy Kazali, to come forward to present the medal to this year's winner from the Kingborough Tigers, Kieran Lovell.
Yeah, again, thanks to North Lonnie, really great outfit, professional side, and I'm sure you'll be back again better than ever next year. To all the crowd and supporters for coming out, massive day, awesome day, and to our Tiger boys, club, everyone, thanks a lot.
Congratulations, Kieran Lovell, Darryl Baldock medalist for 2023. Well, it's now time to present the Kazali Medal, which of course is named in honour of the legendary Roy Kazali. This award will be presented by Roy Kazali's great-grandson, Boyd Savage. Please put your hands together for Boyd. And of course, the winner of this year's Kazali Medal for the winning premiership coach is Trent Borla.
To Brad, Ben, Alex and Thane and the whole of the North Launceston Football Club, you guys are the most worthy opponent. You've been the standard in this competition for the last decade, if not longer. We know you guys will be back. Thank you for the game today, and yeah, well, we know you'll be back. To our footy club, our board, our volunteers and our sponsors, without you guys we can't do what we do, and we hope that we've put a smile on your faces today. To the playing group and the lads, I hope the medals you're about to get, that you guys understand how worthy you are to have them and how worthy you are to call yourself premiership players. You've just achieved something pretty special for this footy club, and you'll go down in history, and you guys, you're my hero.
Congratulations, Trent. I'd now like to invite TSL Life member Wayne Povey to the stage to help present the medals to the Premiership players for 2023. Starting with number 2, Eddie Cole. Number 3, the Vice Captain, Ben Donnelly. Number 4, Will Campbell. Number 5, Nick Baker. Number 6, Elijah Rubin. Number 7, Will Clifford. Number 8, James Webb. Number 9, the Bulldog medalist, Kieran Lovell. Number 10, Max College. Number 11, James Zeitzen. Number 12, Jake Williams. Number 14, Marcus Gardner. Number 15, George O'Neill. Number 17, Edward Golding. Number 19, Murray Bastick. Number 21, Jack Tompkinson. Number 24, Blake McCulloch. Number 27, Ambrose Burton. Number 30, Joey Brower. Number 31, Lockie Godomski. Number 35, Tyler Carter. And the captain, number 1, Lockie Clifford. I'd like to invite Trent Bomler back to the stage and also welcome Kingborough Premiership Cup Ambassador Monica Reardon to present the 2023 TSL Premiership Cup to the winning coach and captain. The 2023 TSL Premiers, the Kingborough Tigers.
Well, there you go. Season 2023 belongs to the boys from the south of the outlet, the Kingborough Tigers. their inaugural premiership in 2023. They defeat the Bombers 8-8-56 to the Bombers 5-11-41. Take a look at that. Well-deserved medal goes to Kieran Lovell for 3 goals. Really turned it on when it mattered, Andrew Cooling.
Yeah, they were not easy chances. A lesser player would not have scored 3 goals from those looks. He made the most of his opportunities. He was dynamite. They had contributors right across the board. There were several players in the mix, but I don't think you can argue with Lovell. And isn't redemption sweet for the Tigers? On this day 12 months ago, a low point, I'm sure, for many. Losing a grand final, always a heartbreaker. But 12 months later, they come back and they climb to the top of the mountain, and they are worthy premiers in 2023.
Sensational stuff by the Kingborough Tigers, and well-deserved to Trent Baumler, who's built this club and developed players from all around the southern part of the state. A well-deserved victory. It was a 15-point margin to the Tigers in the end. They are your 2023 Cripps TSL premiers. What a sensational game of footy. The Bombers kept coming, Andrew Cooling, but that is all she wrote for season 2023.
I was going to say, the penultimate season of the TSL, just one more before it wraps up, and this was an exciting season, but I think we had a grand final this year where we had the 2 best teams all year. They were clearly the 2 best teams. A look at the ladder would show you that. They were the 2 dominant sides. They were neck and neck throughout the season, trading top spot. The Tigers just got them at the end of the year, and then they got the job done twice in September.
They certainly did. Andrew Cooling, always a pleasure to commentate a game of footy with you.
And the same to you, Tube Salem, my favourite man to call a game with.
I'll see you next season, and I will also like to thank Ben Donaldson, Rob Rival on our cameras, Bo Downham on the boundary, and of course, from Creative Imagery, our technical directors, Andrew and Fiona Harcourt. My name is Tubes Taylor. You can catch me on Triple M Breakfast from 6 till 9, Monday to Friday on 107.3. Until next season, we'll see you at the footy. Bye for now.